philosophies that validate your inner conflicts. Freedom is a prison. Existentialism, Sartre. What does it mean to be free? You imagine it as a vast expanse, an open field stretching as far as the eye can see. Yet the very thought weighs heavy. Unmoored without map or compass, you find yourself lost, awash in possibility. It's a paradox. The freedom you crave morphs into chains of choice, each decision echoing the last. Sartre spoke of this paradox, the angst that lingers in the air between what you desire and what you must confront. You have the power to choose, yet each choice isolates you, cutting threads that once connected you to a particular understanding of self. The friend you no longer call, the career left behind. Every freedom pulls you from one path, binding you to another. You might rise, only to be dragged down by the weight of expectation and consequence. True freedom exists, but its price is heavy. It demands your authenticity, challenging you in raw, ruthless ways every moment of every day. You feel an iron grip. It tightens with each option presented to you. Choice is intoxicating, yet paralyzing. You seek the courage to leap, but fear waits in the shadows, telling you that perhaps the devil you know is better than the freedom you crave. You want to be the architect of your life, but perhaps that effort is an illusion. In this prison of self-definition, you question, are you truly free, or merely condemned to the suffocating masks you wear? Your conviction falters, and in that moment, you realize the prison is crafted by your very own hands. As you slip into despair, a truth emerges. This prison itself is an integral part of existence. In acknowledging these walls, you can shape the contours of your confinement, not escape it, but navigate through it. You accept the weight of your choices, recognizing that this entrapment is not devoid of meaning. It allows you to define yourself in contrast. In acknowledging the paradox, you find a strange peace. Freedom indeed becomes a weight you carry, but it is one of your making. Each moment, you must wrestle with the freedom that both liberates and restricts you. You stand at the crossroads of your existence, understanding that the essence of who you are lies in the tension of choice. In the end, to be truly free, you must turn toward the walls of your own creation and confront what lies beyond, embracing the prison that is also a sanctuary. And the void stares back. The lie you tell yourself to live. Self-deception, Sartre. What narratives do you weave to soften the edges of reality? It begins with a whisper, an innocent half-truth in the morning light. You convince yourself that you are someone essential, playing a role scripted by convenience rather than authenticity. Sartre often probed the boundaries of deception. There lies a sanctuary in illusion, a place where comfort and denial intertwine. You look in the mirror and see the reflection staring back, a phantom of your aspirations and failures. Heed the flicker of discomfort nestled beneath the surface. It speaks of unclaimed desires and sacrificial truths. You sculpt your identity around these lies, feeding them with a quiet resolve that you are not what you are, far from it. Every day you rise, donned in your deceptions, fluttering through life like a moth to a flame, seeking the warmth of acceptance. But with every lie, you flinch at the touch of reality's chill. The truth, however naked and harsh it may be, sits heavy on your chest. It demands your reckoning. Each moment spent chasing a self-deception invites a deeper fracture within, splintered between who you believe you are and who you truly might be. This chasm becomes a familiar haunt, where the ghosts of what could have been echo silently in your ears. In this labyrinth of fabricated identities, you begin to stumble. Self-deception, it seems, is a mask fashioned from fear, the fear of vulnerability, of being seen. You tell yourself you're fine, you're happy, that you've chosen this life. But beneath the surface, a roar rises, a yearning for something raw and real that lies just beyond your grasp. you long to expose the gaps. To surrender the lie and risk the pain of authenticity. By weaving lies, you distance yourself from the desires that define you. Yet, when you begin to untangle those threads, the air grows thick with both possibility and trepidation. What if once laid bare, you discover beauty woven in the cracks? What if the truth becomes your liberation, casting away the chains of narrative that no longer serves you? In your search, you learn to sit with discomfort, to walk the fine line between self-deception and acceptance. Only then does the false narrative begin to fall away, revealing a truth as delicate and fleeting as smoke. The light you yearned for now dances, illuminating shadows where illusions once stood tall. And the void stares back. What if you never saw the light? Allegory of the cave. Plato. Imagine a world reduced to shadows flickering against a wall. You are chained within that cave, unable to turn, forced to watch. The figures passing by cast forms of reality. But what if the flickering shadows were your only understanding? A fragmented existence built upon limited perception. Plato's cave echoes inside you, a reminder of paths not ventured and truths not perceived. The whispers of the outside world beckon, but fear holds you in place, locked in the comfort of illusion, a haven wrapped in familiarity. You oscillate between acceptance and rebellion. Do you dare face the blinding light beyond? Or does the very thought of such illumination paralyze you? Within the cave's confines, the shadows offer a refuge, yet they also breed confusion, distorting the contours of your reality. You question what it means to be alive, immersed in a projection devoid of substance. Living by what others reflect back, you risk becoming nothing more than a shadow, a mere echo of someone else's truth. You yearn to understand, to experience the fullness of existence beyond that cave. You inch closer to the edge, the fissure where shadows give way to perspective. But the light burns intensely. You hesitate. It invites you to cast aside your chains, yet the pain of revelation grips your heart like an iron vise. What if the truth is not what you hope for? What if the clarity that comes with the light reveals not solace but fright? Would you still take that leap, knowing the warmth would illuminate not only beauty but ugliness as well? Your own reflected fragility, the darkness etched in every creature you confront. Life is a dance between light and shadow, between illusion and insight. Engaging with the light, you discover more than just yourself. You encounter the world's raw pulse. The light may scorch, but it also offers profound clarity. What if you choose to turn and face it? In that moment, hope flutters, fragile and fierce. You accept the uncertainty. You begin the arduous climb from darkness to enlightenment, ready to confront the authentic. Your heart races as the chains crumble, and the void stares back. You are not the same you were. Fixed identity fallacy, Heraclitus, postmodernism. What defines you? Each day unfolds like a new page, but the ink is still wet. You are ever in flux, pulled by the currents of time and experience, perpetually changing, yet you grasp onto a fixed identity, an answer for who you were and who you are. Yet can you really hold that form? Heraclitus whispers through the ages, suggesting that change is the only constant. The river you step into today is not the same as yesterday. You feel its waters, every moment a choice, an unseen current molding you anew. Yet you cling to memories, stalwarts of identity like forgotten photographs lingering on the shelf. You strive to hold on to the past, constructing a self as though it were an ancient monument, unyielding and definitive. In your mind rise vivid images of who you were, youthful and bright, filled with ardor and dreams. But memories shift, darken, and fade, leaving only impressions framed by nostalgia. The person you were in those moments no longer walks alongside you. You try to reach back, but the strands of time only tighten, making the return impossible. In reconciling those differences, you find an internal struggle, a tension between the need for stability and the openness to change. You question, can you accept that the fabric of self is woven by all that you have lost? Every experience, each tucked away sorrow, becomes part of a tapestry that defies your grasp. You are a mosaic, an assemblage of shifting pieces, a living paradox that begs for acknowledgement. Yet within this realization is a quiet liberation. It is not the past that binds you. It is the attachment to an unwavering identity you maintain. Allow yourself to embrace the ceaseless flow of change. Let each moment wash over you, remolding shape and substance. You begin to uncover layers beneath the seemingly fixed self, discovering hidden desires, forgotten fears, and long-lost dreams scattered like leaves across your path. The awareness settles, as comforting as the embrace of a long-lost friend. You are not merely what you cling to. You are the questions that arise in moments of stillness. In recognizing this impermanence, you welcome each iteration of self that emerges with every dawn. You understand, the beautiful complexity of existence lies not in the fight against change, but in honoring it, celebrating the unfolding canvas forever open to brushstrokes anew, and the void stares back. The pain of too much freedom, existential angst, Sartre. Imagine standing at the edge of a precipice, the horizon stretching infinitely before you. The world is a canvas, splashed with colors you have yet to explore. Within this vibrant expanse lies both elation and dread. The freedom to choose, an exhilarating sense of potential, begins to pulse. Yet that pulse quickly turns to an undercurrent of anxiety, a tightness in your chest that whispers, "What if you choose wrong?" Sartre examined this wound of existential angst, proposing that true freedom is a paradox. The more choices you have, the heavier the burden. You mark the choices in your mind, each one a path not taken, each one a weight tied to your ankles. What if the company you keep holds you back? What if the job you love constrains you? With every decision comes the shadow of doubt, the gnawing thought. What if the life you're living isn't the one meant for you? To be free is to be responsible. This weight can crush. You start to question the foundations upon which your identity rests. Every decision defines you, but also fragments you. Choices collide, leaving scars in their wake. You ponder the pain of too much freedom, the existential dread suffocating your sense of self. Freedom becomes both a gift and a curse, encased in its own contradiction. How liberating it would be to retreat into certainty, to relinquish the responsibility for choice and allow simply to exist. Yet, could you truly endure such a life stripped of agency? To be free, you must embrace the consequences of your decisions. Each choice a venture into the unknown, a tentative embrace of possibility. You reach for freedom, yet it slips away, teasing and elusive. In the stillness, a realization blooms. Perhaps this tension is not your enemy. Within it lies a profound opportunity to learn about who you are and who you aspire to be. Allow the chaos of choice to shape you. In facing the weight of your decisions, there is a chance for authenticity. You begin to dance with anxiety, allowing it to guide you, illuminating the very fears that bind you. And in this process, you uncover the strength to step into the fullness of your existence. Embrace the anxiety, let it fuel your movement, let it become a part of your narrative. Discover that it is not in evading freedom that you find peace, but in accepting its inherent complexity, and the void stares back. Only death makes you real. Being toward death. Heidegger. What does it mean to live knowing that death awaits? The thought incapacitates you at times, cloaked in shadow. But within this inescapable reality lies the essence of your being. Heidegger believed that understanding death grants life its depth and urgency. It is a stark reminder that time, fleeting and fragile, is your most precious resource. You catch your breath, feeling the weight of mortality. Each moment feels more precious, tinged with an electrifying awareness of its transience. You recall lost moments, faces that are now only memories. The impermanence becomes immediate, demanding your attention. It drives you to confront your existence, urging you to consider, what legacy do you wish to leave behind? In this examination, you wrestle with the dissonance of life, how it is often filled with distractions, trivialities that pull you away from what truly matters. You go through the motions, lulled into complacency, forgetting the immediacy of your mortal condition. Yet, when you pause to contemplate death, the veil of complacency begins to lift. Clarity emerges. You grasp the significance of each decision you make. With this awareness becomes the liberation to let go of fears that once bound you. You realize that life is not merely a succession of moments to fill, but an opportunity to carve meaning. As you embrace your mortality, you discover the freedom to shed the inauthentic layers, to live with intention. The weight of existence transforms. Each day becomes an act of defiance against the void awaiting you. You find strength in vulnerability, recognizing that to deny the inevitability of death is to deny the fullness of life itself. In this paradox lies authenticity. Let the knowledge of death be your guide, leading you to live not in fear, but in passionate engagement with each fleeting moment. You remember the loved ones who've passed, how their absence calls you to be more present, more alive. And in this acceptance, you discover a strange peace, a reason to celebrate the heartbeats that carry you, and the void stares back. Living a life that isn't yours. Inauthenticity, Heidegger. Consider the role you play in the theatrical performance of your life. The lights may shine brightly, illuminating a visage crafted through expectation and conformity. Yet as the curtain rises, you feel the weight of inauthenticity pressing down upon you, a mask that fits too tightly. Heidegger urged us to confront the essence of our being, to ask, whose life are you truly living? You navigate through a kaleidoscope of identities, slipping into characters shaped by others' desires. Family, society, and culture script your narrative, pressing upon you with unyielding expectations. Days blur into months. You wear your designated mask with resignation. The life you lead seems curated, stripped of the vibrancy born from authenticity. In seeking the approval of others, you lose sight of your voice. The roles you play, son, partner, professional, become a straitjacket, suffocating and restricting. You question what parts of you remain unexpressed, buried beneath layers of obligation and longing. Awareness fractures the illusion, prompting you to wonder, what if you peeled away those layers? What if you stood bare, stripped of pretense? Embracing this uncertainty stirs anxiety, for there dwells the fear of rejection. Yet, liberation flickers on the horizon like dawn breaking through night. To live authentically is to confront your fears, to embrace your unique narrative, raw and unrefined. You grasp the power inherent in vulnerability. You unearth buried passions, voices waiting to be claimed. With every small act of truth, the mask begins to slip. You dance to a new rhythm, one that resonates with the cadence of your heartbeat. Each moment spent uncovering your authentic self warms your spirit, igniting a vibrancy you've long forgotten. You realize that to embrace reality is to live boldly, to step off the precipice of others' expectations and stumble into the unknown glory of your own making. In this reclamation, you learn to sketch the contours of your own existence, able to cast off the shackles imposed by others. Life stretches out before you, a blank canvas awaiting your strokes. You may falter, but with each step toward authenticity, you embrace the depth of who you are, uncensored, unapologetic, resplendent in your humanity. And the void stares back. You were never whole. Fragmented self, Lacan. What does it mean to confront those broken reflections scattered across your life? In the quiet corners of your consciousness, you feel the jagged edges, pieces of identity that never quite fit together. Lacan spoke of this fragmented self, an existence where unity is a coveted illusion. In the web of memory, you search for wholeness, but it eludes you like shadows at dusk. You glance around at the fragments. Each piece tells a story, a childhood dream that slipped away, a choice made that redirected your path, a longing unfulfilled. These remnants shape you, but they also betray you. You are a collage of experiences, emotions, and desires, disparate, disjointed, yet undeniably you. In seeking validation through external approval, you fortify these fragments, pretending they form a coherent self. The desire for wholeness becomes a hollow pursuit, for you know deep down that these pieces cannot heal until acknowledged. You touch the fissures with a hesitance, afraid of the ache they may reveal. What must you confront before the puzzle can reform itself? Within these fragments, there is a potential for beauty. Each piece, though disparate, holds a truth, offering glimpses into who you might be. To embrace this mosaic is to accept the complexity of human existence. The jagged edges may never fully align, but they are part of a greater narrative. Each fragment demands your presence, asking you to bear witness to their stories. As you delve deeper, you uncover the potential for connection. Recognizing imperfection unites you in your grief and joy, embracing both what was lost and what remains. The light shines uniquely upon the fractures, allowing new narratives to emerge from former darkness. Healing is not achieved through erasure, but through acceptance, weaving the pieces into a new framework. You realize that wholeness is not a state to reach, but a continual journey, an evolving tapestry painted with both light and shadow. The fragmented self is not a curse, but a testament to resilience. You grow aware that the richness of life comes from navigating the moment in between, the flux of becoming rather than merely being. With each embrace of the fragmented self, you step further from the pretense of unity, finding strength in your beautifully imperfect existence, and the void stares back. Desire that devours identity, love as captivity, Kierkegaard. What happens when love becomes a cage rather than a sanctuary? The warmth of affection, so exhilarating, morphs into a consuming fire, shaping your very essence. Kierkegaard spoke of this paradox, where love may both elevate and entrap. You begin to notice how desire entwines itself around you, its tendrils gripping your sense of self. In those first moments of infatuation, you feel alive, each heartbeat echoing the thrill of connection. But as time unfolds, love transforms into an expectation. The fervor that once ignited your spirit becomes a demand, defining the boundaries of who you are allowed to be. You begin to morph into a reflection of another's wishes, crafting your identity from their desires, rather than from your own aspirations. The dread creeps in quietly, like a fog settling in at twilight. You're no longer certain where you end and they begin. Each choice becomes intertwined, tethered by an invisible force. The liberation you anticipated shifts into a murky landscape filled with uncertainty. Finding yourself within another can sometimes mean losing sight of your own truth. Moments arise when you yearn to rebel against this captivity. You question the motivations behind your every action. Is it love or fear that drives you? The fear of being left behind coils tightly, stifling your authentic voice. Each denial, who you are, what you want, becomes a sacrifice on the altar of connection. Yet the ache of unfulfilled desire remains, a longing that gnaws at your core. In the midst of love's complexities, you find a strange exhilaration in the tension. This struggle can transform into a cruel catalyst, urging you to confront the dichotomy of being loved and losing yourself. In standing at that crossroads, you re-evaluate the nature of love. You realize that love's power does not need to erode your identity. To thrive in connection, you learn to balance the dance between desire and selfhood. You commit to honoring both your needs and the needs of your beloved, acknowledging that true love does not suffocate, but enriches the soul. As you unearth this understanding, the strangling grip of captivity loosens. You redefine the terms of your affection, forging connections that honor both independence and interdependence. You embrace the fullness of your being, aware that each heartbeat can welcome another while remaining true to yourself, and the void stares back. Desire is a trap. Will as suffering, Schopenhauer. Imagine a trap lying in wait, disguised as the very desire you crave. Schopenhauer speaks to a deeper truth, one that lurks behind the shimmering veil of passion. The more you desire, the more you suffer. The alluring bait of want snags you in its clutches, drawing you deeper into an eternal grasping for that which remains just out of reach. You stand upon the precipice of longing, peering into the abyss of unfulfilled wishes. Each desire, be it for love, affirmation, or meaning, beckons enticingly. But with each step toward fulfillment, you feel the weight of impermanence pressing upon your shoulders. Acquiring what you seek rarely brings the solace you envision. Rather, it reveals further voids, new cravings that echo into the distance, unfurling like smoke in the wind. This cycle knots your being, consuming you from within. The tension mounts, pulling taut as your hopes clash against reality. In desperate pursuit of satisfaction, you become estranged from your true self. The identity molded by desire is but a facade, fragile and unstable, built upon sand rather than stone. You confront the bitter truths of your entrapment. The elusive satisfaction of desire remains an illusion. As soon as you grasp one piece, another slips from your fingers. A perpetual chase, each chase stitched into the fabric of your life. You reflect on how this suffering can distort your very essence, ingraining a relentless ache into your existence. But within this realization lies a striking insight. To recognize desire as a trap is to find the power to break free. You learn to disentangle from its web, observing the insatiable cravings arise and dissipate like waves. There is a strange beauty in letting go, releasing the tightening grip on wanting. Acceptance emerges, the idea that pleasure is fleeting, that peace may exist within surrender. With each moment of awareness, you cultivate the strength to embrace simplicity. The burden of desire lessens as you turn your focus inward. You learn to sit quietly with what is, rather than constantly yearning for something new. Here, in this stillness, you rediscover yourself beyond the trap, whole, unchained, enveloped in the present, and the void stares back. The stranger living in you, the unconscious, Freud. Consider the shadows lurking in the corners of your mind. A stranger dwells there, a vestige of repressed emotions and unseen desires that shape your actions without your consent. Freud explored the unconscious, emphasizing how these hidden aspects of self influence the very core of your being, guiding you through the labyrinth of existence without ever revealing their presence. You drift through life, operating on a surface level, a mask worn for the outside world. Yet beneath that mask, a cacophony stirs. The stranger in you whispers truths that remain shrouded, beckoning you to acknowledge their existence. The thoughts you dare not entertain, the feelings you suppress, intertwine in a dance both delicate and fierce. This silent presence disorients, as moments arise when you act against your own interests. You lash out in anger or retreat in fear, wondering where these impulses originate. In tracing these shadows, you can unveil a complex landscape of fragmented identities, each slice reflecting a duality that resides within. You realize that these buried facets of self can either sabotage your journey or propel you toward deep understanding. Ignoring the stranger only heightens your discontent, amplifying the dissonance between who you are and who you wish to be. In giving voice to the stranger, you may confront the many emotions that weave together to create a holistic picture of self. This process invites exploration, urging you to seek out what lies beneath the surface. What truths have long been silenced? What desires have been suppressed? The confrontation has the potential to be both daunting and liberating. Embracing the stranger within is akin to reclaiming lost territory. By peeling back layers of repression, you find the power to transform fear into insight. You learn to acknowledge the complexity of your being, to integrate these fragmented aspects into a rich tapestry of experience. In this quest for understanding, the stranger becomes an ally rather than an adversary. You begin to discover the strength found in authenticity. By welcoming all parts of yourself, both light and shadow, you pave the way for deep connection with others and more profound compassion toward your own spirit. And the void stares back. Sin is a mirror. Moral ambiguity. Dostoevsky. What happens when you gaze into the mirror of your moral choices and confront the faces reflected back? Dostoevsky sheds light on a profound truth. Sin is a mirror, revealing not only our flaws, but the intricate complexity of being human. It captures the very essence of your inner conflict between impulse and virtue, inviting you to reflect deeply. You often stand at the crossroads of morality, weighing your decisions against the tide of social expectation. Each choice unfolds layers of personal values and collective norms, blurring the line between right and wrong. In the complexity of these moments, the mirror reflects the duality of your nature, revealing both the beauty and the darkness that swirl within. As you peer deeper into that mirror, you are faced with uncomfortable truths. Your desires often clash with moral imperatives, leading to deeper questions about loyalty, betrayal, love, and guilt. In these instances, you recognize that what you label as sin holds a mirror to your very humanity, a landscape filled with contradictions, a tapestry woven with errors. To confront this ambiguity is both liberating and daunting. In accepting the shadows as part of the human condition, you push against the urge to repress or deny them. Each flaw becomes an opportunity for growth, a chance to acknowledge your shortcomings and pursue greater authenticity. You find a strange comfort in knowing that with every moral battle, there exists the potential for transformation. As you delve into the depths of your conscience, you wrestle with ethical dilemmas that challenge your beliefs. The quest for absolution takes on new meaning, shifting from mere adherence to rules toward a more profound understanding of empathy and compassion. You realize that by engaging with the darker aspects of your soul, you can cultivate deeper connections with others, recognizing their struggles as reflections of your own. The mirror ceases to be merely a device to reveal flaw. It transforms into a lens through which you can better understand others and your place in the cosmos. Morality becomes not an endpoint, but a journey marked with uncertainty. The embrace of this ambiguity allows you to interact with the world more consciously, fostering a sense of belonging amid imperfect humanity. Through this lens, you are reminded that the struggle is not about purity, but about embracing the wholeness of your experience, acknowledging both sin and virtue while navigating the murky waters of existence, and the void stares back. The universe doesn't know you exist. Cosmic insignificance, existential cosmology. Imagine standing beneath an infinitely sprawling sky, stars twinkling like distant memories. Each point of light represents something ancient and enigmatic, yet you can't help but feel an undercurrent of profound solitude. The universe, vast and indifferent, stretches beyond the comprehension of your mind, indifferent to your existence. It is a truth that chills. The realization is not just that you are small, but that you might be utterly invisible. The implications of cosmic insignificance gnaw at you. What is the value of individual life if the universe, in its timelessness, doesn't acknowledge your struggles or joys? As you walk through the world, you become acutely aware of the silence that surrounds your being. Your morning routine, your conversations, your laughter, all echo in a void that knows no borders. In this space, your achievements can feel trivial, your aspirations fleeting. You find yourself grappling with a paradox. The weight of existence feels heavier against a backdrop that renders it meaningless. In the shadows of insignificance, questions arise. Can there be purpose in a life so easily overlooked? Can love and connection transcend the vast neglect of the cosmos? Or is life merely an interruption in a void that cares not whether you breathe or not? In moments of stillness, uncertainty unfurls, revealing a duality at play. While the universe may not recognize your existence, the essence of connection lies in creating meaning. Each act of kindness, each moment spent with another, carries weight amidst the expanse of stars. You begin to weave your own significance from threads of experience. You see that meaning is not granted by a universe of magnitude. It is crafted from within, shaped by choices, by relationships, by love. With each decision, you carve out a space for yourself, centering your existence upon the here and now. You realize that in acknowledging your insignificance, you uncover a strange freedom. This cosmic indifference becomes a canvas upon which you can paint your truth. You decide how to fill your moments, even in scenes alien to broader perceptions. You reclaim your narrative and breathe life into the mundane, finding beauty in your vulnerability. Ultimately, you discern that existence in a vast universe does not detract from your essence. Rather, it invites you to confront the depth of your humanity. In the residual silence, you can construct a legacy of love, longing, failure, and triumph, an authentic life against oblivion, and the void stares back. Virtue is a performance. Morality as mask, Nietzsche. What masks do you don in daily life, navigating the intricate dance of society? Nietzsche posits that virtue is but a performance, a series of roles that you play to fit the expectations of those around you. In the theatre of existence, you transform into a mosaic of personas, each one meticulously crafted to convey a sense of morality that you may not wholly embody. At times, you step into these roles with fervour, portraying the beloved ideals of kindness, generosity, and integrity. But as you feel the fabric of your performance, doubts surface. Are these traits genuinely reflective of you, or simply characters drawn from the script of expectation? Each virtue becomes a mask, concealing deeper truths that pulse beneath the surface. In the quiet moments of reflection, you feel the weight of these masks. They both protect and isolate, constructing a facade between your essence and the world. You begin to question, does the performance devalue the authenticity of your feelings? Do you act out of genuine compassion, or merely to meet the standards set by society's gaze? The mask often seems necessary, a tool that allows you to navigate interactions within a labyrinth of judgment. Yet, the performance can feel burdensome. The more you wear it, the more challenging it becomes to discern your genuine desires from the chorus of expectations. Amidst the cacophony of roles, the risk of losing your true self looms like a spectre. As you peel back these layers, you are invited to explore the intricacies of your own morality. What would it look like to step off the stage, to live without the artifice? Within this exploration, you catch glimpses of an authentic existence, a world where virtue, rather than being a performative act, becomes a fluid manifestation of your own heart's intention. In grappling with your performances, you recognize the beauty in vulnerability, the strength found in honesty. You learn that you can be moral without slipping into the confines of pretense. Each interaction teaches you that the essence of virtue lies not within the role you play, but in the connection you foster with others. Ultimately, you understand that morality is a journey without a defined endpoint. It is a weaving of the authentic moments with the crafted performances, shaping a unique narrative as you continue to navigate the complexities of existence. And the void stares back. You want what you'll never have. Desire as lack. What is the nature of your longing? Desire feels like a pulse, a constant thrum, something that drives you forward yet also pulls you apart. Lacan maps this terrain, revealing desire as a complex entity rooted in lack, a yearning for something perpetually just beyond your reach. Each moment tinged with the ache of wanting can shape your actions and perceptions. Like a mirage shimmering in the distance, desires often appear alluring but remain ungraspable. You chase them, fueled by the hope they will bring fulfillment, bliss, or depth. Yet, you find that each time you believe you've caught a glimpse of what you seek, it slips away, leaving only an even deeper void. The gnawing sensation of deprivation clangs within you, demanding your attention. As you navigate these desires, an unsettling realization hangs in the air. Perhaps the object of your longing isn't the issue. It's the very nature of desire itself. This elusive dance, wanting something that cannot be wholly possessed, becomes a reflection of your internal landscape. Each unfulfilled desire nudges at your sense of self, challenging you to explore what rests beneath the surface. In recognizing this tension, you begin to understand that the pursuit of desire is not simply about acquiring. It speaks to the core of who you are. These yearnings are tied to your identity, revealing your beliefs, values, and fears. They illuminate the fragments of yourself that scream for recognition, guiding you on a journey, a search that transcends mere longing. The realization shifts your perspective, inviting you to grapple with the paradox of wanting. You learn that, within desire, there lies a profound opportunity for growth and reflection. By engaging with what you covet, you may unearth deeper truths about your dreams, motivations, and even your relationships with others, discovering that the chase may yield more than the catch. This journey becomes not one of loss, but of understanding and acceptance. You see that each desire does not need a defined endpoint. Instead, they can be markers along the road of exploration. The absence can foster creativity, allowing you to question, adapt, and reshape your identity continuously. You embrace a new vision, where desires become threads weaving through your existence, guiding you toward greater awareness. The ache transformed into a catalyst for growth, connection, and self-discovery. You find solace not in satisfaction, but in the meaningful pursuit itself. And the void stares back. You were engineered to crave, desiring machines, Deleuze and Guattari. What if longing is an intrinsic blueprint encoded within you? The desire radiates through your being, a current pulling you toward the infinite. In this framework, Deleuze and Guattari present the idea that humans are not merely subjects of desire. Rather, you are desiring machines, engineered to crave endlessly. Your very essence hums with the electric pulse of want, a ceaseless engine driving exploration and fulfillment. As you look around, you may feel the weight of this impulse, a relentless longing that carries you from one experience to another. The world compels you forward, each moment colored by the allure of what lies just ahead. Shopping malls, social media, and romantic encounters become mere machines in this grand symphony of desire, enticing you with promises of satisfaction. Yet, you must question, what lies beneath this incessant craving? In the pursuit of satisfaction, you find the engine never quite stops. Acquiring what you desire brings fleeting pleasure, but the pang of craving soon returns, unrelenting and fierce. This cycle fosters restlessness, a constant chase that seems never-ending. As you delve into this dynamic, a conflict arises. The more you crave, the more you confront the emptiness of consumption, a striving that leaves you hollow in its wake. Yet perhaps this incessant craving holds a different meaning. It is not solely a source of frustration or pain, but an invitation to explore the richness of existence. The desire itself can reveal your values, your dreams, and your secrets. It becomes a window into your soul, guiding you to confront what truly matters. The engine of craving propels you to seek connections, experiences, and passions that resonate deeply. You begin to understand that embracing this desire as an integral part of your being can foster growth. Rather than running from it, you learn to navigate the currents. Each yearning invites exploration, teaching you to face the complexities beneath the surface. The desiring machine becomes a companion rather than an adversary, encouraging you to reflect on what you truly seek. You find power in relinquishing the need for resolution, understanding that desire feeds your human experience. It propels you to stretch beyond habit and sameness, compelling you toward new horizons. In this acknowledgement, you can relish the fullness of existence, not in the fulfillment of wants, but in the vibrant pursuit of becoming, of experiencing, of connecting with the world. And the void stares back. Beauty demands suffering, aesthetics of pain, Nietzsche. What does it mean to find beauty in agony? The delicate interplay between pleasure and pain dances at the edges of your experience. In a world that often seeks to shield you from suffering, Nietzsche provocatively claims that beauty is often born from the depths of despair. The idea sits uneasily on your heart, challenging you to reconsider the nature of existence itself. You think of the artists, the poets, those who lay bare their wounds to create. Each stroke of a brush, each line of verse, emerges not just from a place of joy, but often from the depths of suffering. Their work becomes a catharsis, a transmutation of pain into something profound. You begin to understand that the experiences that bring you to your knees are also the very ones that shape your perception of beauty. In moments of personal trial, you wrestle with the truth of this concept. Life's losses, grief, heartbreak, loneliness, become catalysts for profound insights. The richness of existence comes sharply into focus, revealing a tapestry woven from both light and shadow. You find that your own pain carries echoes of something greater, reflecting the universal struggles we all endure. It is easy to numb yourself at the slightest hint of discomfort, to seek exits from sorrow. Yet in doing so, you may miss the valuable lessons buried within the tumult. What if, instead of avoiding discomfort, you leaned into it? What if, through hardship, you could uncover deeper layers of beauty, ones that shimmer even amidst the darkness? As you start to seek meaning in suffering, you discover that vulnerability becomes a strength. In embracing your scars, you create connections with others that resonate on a deeper level. The shared experience of pain brings about empathy and understanding, transforming solitary moments into profound bonds. You realize that beauty is woven into the very fabric of existence through these shared struggles. In this embrace of suffering, new perspectives arise. Beauty is not a pristine facade, but a complex interplay of emotions, experiences, and realities. You learn to cherish the fleeting moments of joy, knowing they are intertwined with the exquisite ache of having lived. The pain becomes a guide, teaching you to savor the moments of light more profoundly as you navigate the intricacies of life. With each experience, you see beauty emerging not from avoidance, but through the honest engagement with all facets of existence. In this journey, you find that suffering can be a precursor to a deeper understanding of what it means to be alive, and the void stares back. Freedom, and that's the problem. Freedom as condemnation. Sartre. What does it mean to bear the weight of freedom? It glimmers like a distant star, both inviting and terrifying. Sartre's assertion that freedom can become a burden wrestles within you, challenging what you believe about autonomy and existence. This stark truth unfurls like a banner in the landscape of your mind. As you contemplate the idea, freedom transforms from an exhilarating embrace into a heavy mantle. In its seductive allure, you may forget the responsibilities that come with choice. Every decision becomes a thread of your identity, yet with each thread comes an accompanying fear. What if you choose poorly? What if your choices lead you away from who you hope to be? The vastness of possibility can feel paralyzing. Every path yields a multitude of branches, and within this abundance resides an oppressive weight, the anxiety of the unknown. You navigate through life questioning. Do you chart your own course, or are you simply following an invisible script aligned with societal expectations? In freedom's tangled web, you grapple with the paradox of choice. The very act of choosing can be both liberating and suffocating. The fear surfaces, reminding you that with each choice comes the realization that you alone are responsible for your existence. Loneliness creeps in as a constant companion. The demands of making fundamental decisions, coupled with the burden of accountability, can lead to existential fatigue. Stripped of the comfort of absolutes, the boundaries of freedom may horrify you. Yet, with awareness arises the possibility for transformation. Rather than viewing freedom solely as a curse, it can be seen as a canvas upon which you paint your existence. Embracing this responsibility allows you to reclaim agency even amidst uncertainty. Each choice becomes an opportunity to discover who you are beneath the expectations of society, beneath the weight of your desires. In this awakening, you realize that freedom does not condemn, it invites exploration. It calls upon you to engage with the rawness of choice and to find joy within the struggle. Confronting the constraints of your freedom leads to empowerment, a resurgence of curiosity and courage to navigate the unknown paths. Understanding the intricate dance between freedom and responsibility, you shift your perspective. The burdens of choice become pathways to self-discovery, revealing the profound beauty that lies in forging your unique path. You embrace the complexity of existence with renewed vigor, ready to explore the textured landscape of life. And the void stares back. To be or to belong? Authenticity versus belonging, Kierkegaard. What if the essence of your existence sits at an intersection? The desire to belong often collides with the need for authenticity, leading to a profound and complex tension. Kierkegaard captures this struggle beautifully, reminding you that the quest to be true to yourself can cast you adrift in your search for community. You feel the urge to connect, to weave yourself into the fabric of relationships and shared experiences. Yet, in that longing, you grapple with fears of losing your unique essence. The roles you adopt to fit within familial, social, or cultural frameworks can forge bonds, but they often come at a cost. Each mask worn in pursuit of belonging can obscure the authentic self, leaving you hollow and fragmented. In embracing the need for acceptance, you may silence your true voice, fearing that authenticity will alienate you. You contemplate, what does it mean to fit in at the expense of self? In these moments, the tug of war between belonging and individuality unravels deeper truths about identity. Yet, as you navigate the landscape of relationships, you begin to recognize the importance of balance. You seek belonging as a source of strength, an anchor that reminds you of the connections that enrich your life. But you also realize that belonging must be contingent on acceptance of who you are at your core. As you cultivate awareness around this paradox, you can begin to carve spaces where authenticity thrives within community. You learn to share your voice, to express your truths even when they seem mismatched with the prevailing narrative. In doing so, you invite others to embrace their own authenticity, transforming the relationships around you into fertile ground for growth. You carve a narrative where belonging does not require the surrendering of self. It becomes an enriching experience that celebrates the diversity of existence, allowing both individuality and connection to flourish. you strike a delicate balance, nurturing relationships while embracing the freedom to be wholly yourself. In time, you discover a truth. The richness of life is found not in the extremes of belonging or authenticity, but in the fluid interplay between the two, a dance where acceptance is rooted in the embrace of the many layers that define you. And the void stares back, the hunger behind all masks. Will to power, Nietzsche. What lies beneath the masks you wear? A thirst, a yearning that swells from within, demanding acknowledgement. Nietzsche's concept of the will to power reveals itself through the myriad ways you navigate existence. It speaks to an intrinsic drive that fuels your actions, aspirations, and interactions, yet it often masquerades behind facades crafted to impress or protect. You don the masks of different roles throughout life, each one reflecting the nuanced identities shaped by circumstance and desire. The outward projection may hold an appearance of confidence, but behind it, yearning simmers. It is this hunger for power, significance, and understanding that colors your actions, a quest that often goes unspoken. In viewing the world through this lens, you recognize a complex interplay between vulnerability and strength. Each mask, while serving as armor against the world's judgment, also obscures your true self. The delicate balance shifts between power, control, and authenticity, as the masks can simultaneously fortify and isolate you. You ponder whether the curated version of yourself can ever fulfill the deeper truths pulsing within. What if, instead of simply wearing masks, you began to explore the yearning behind them? The vulnerability that lurks beneath the surface can reveal the desires that shape your actions. The hunger for validation, connection, and meaning entwines with the performance of your existence, an incessant call to engage with both the self and the world. As you delve deeper into this exploration, you find that relinquishing control over the masks can lead to liberation. By voicing the struggles and aspirations hiding beneath the surface, you create space for richer connections with others. The walls that once shielded become portals to empathy and understanding, inviting the nourishment of shared experiences. The realization arises that embracing the hunger behind your masks can ultimately empower you, shifting the narrative from one of performance to one of authenticity. You learn to let go of shame and accept the raw, unrefined parts of yourself, the impulses that propel you toward growth. In this awakening, the will to power transforms from a drive rooted in dominance to one grounded in connection and honesty. You revel in the freedom that emerges when you seek not just to wear the mask, but to understand and engage with the depths that lie just beneath, and the void stares back. Do you choose, or are you chosen? Free will versus determinism. Spinoza, Sartre. What if choice is an illusion? Each day you make decisions, navigating through a maze of possibilities. Yet beneath the surface, a tension simmers. Do you wield the power of choice, or are you merely a pawn in a predetermined game? The paradox unfolds like a riddle, challenging your understanding of freedom and existence. You reflect on the moments that define you, your career, your relationships, the path you tread. Each choice feels momentous, laden with weight. But as you look deeper, you begin to feel the invisible strings that pull and tug. Choices often seem to arise from a web of external influences: parents' expectations, societal pressures, cultural norms, all shaping your desires and decisions. Are you the author of your story, or just an actor reciting lines written by others? As you ponder this dynamic, an unsettling recognition dawns. The stories you tell yourself about your autonomy may serve to mask the reality of determinism. When you feel compelled to act in certain ways, it's hard to ignore the echoes of conditioning and environment. With each choice, does the illusion of freedom merely reinforce the constructs that govern your thoughts and actions? Yet within this recognition lies a glimmer of liberation. Acknowledging the forces that shape you can free you from the struggle against them. you can reframe your choices as opportunities for reflection and growth rather than shackles that bind you. Understanding that many influences exist invites a more profound acceptance of your humanity. In this embrace of complexity, the decision-making process shifts from a binary of free will versus determinism to a dance of interplay. While external factors undeniably weigh in, you still hold the power to interpret, to respond, to choose your own path within the constraints. It becomes a matter of recognizing the layers, seeing that even within a deterministic framework, your responses can be infused with authenticity. Ultimately, you begin to appreciate the beauty of choice, however limited. Engaging with the question, "Do I choose or am I chosen?" invites you to reflect on agency, responsibility, and the art of navigating the uncharted territories that life presents. It becomes a journey marked by intention, self-awareness, and a constant examination of who you choose to be amidst the forces around you. And the void stares back. Now you are the creator. Death of God, Nietzsche. What does it mean to stand on the precipice of godlessness? Nietzsche provocatively proclaimed the death of God, shaking the foundations of belief and meaning. In this silence, you are faced with a staggering realization. The responsibility to create meaning lies solely with you. The weight of that responsibility can feel overwhelming, a vast and empty expanse before you. In moments of stillness, the absence of divine guidance culminates in existential anxiety. You grapple with the enormity of existence, questioning what it means to move through a universe devoid of inherent meaning. It feels daunting. How can you avoid despair when the foundations upon which life was built crumble beneath your feet? Yet, within this absence, a radical opportunity emerges. The vacuum left by the death of God beckons you forward, urging you to become the architect of your own reality. Meaning is not something to be discovered, but something to be forged through singular intention. With each choice, you sculpt the narrative of your life, imbuing it with significance born from your own experiences, values, and relationships. As you immerse yourself in this realization, the contours of existence begin to shift. There is a stark beauty in owning the chaos. You learn to relish the journey instead of fearing the void. This act of creation requires courage, a willingness to engage with uncertainty and ambiguity. You become the artist, crafting a life that reflects your truths and aspirations, channeling the complexity of existence into something uniquely yours. Each pivotal moment, every relationship and challenge faced become the threads woven into your narrative. The canvas stretches infinitely in all directions, begging for your brushstrokes. There is profound power in acknowledging that the meaning you create isn't confined to pleasing others or adhering to societal expectations. It is an expression of your authentic self. With this new perspective, you find liberation amidst the anxiety. In a universe devoid of preordained paths, you embrace the freedom to craft your reality with intention and passion. You are not merely a bystander, but a participant in a deeper dance of existence. A creator who navigates the void with creativity and resilience. And the void stares back. Create, even if it's pointless. Aesthetic rebellion, Camus. What compels you to create in a world that can feel endlessly indifferent? Camus captures a timeless truth. The act of creation, even in the face of absurdity, holds profound meaning. As you dive into this thought, the paradox unfurls. You are drawn to create, even when the futility of existence looms large on the horizon. In a universe marked by chaos and uncertainty, the instinct to produce art, to sculpt thoughts and feelings into something tangible, becomes a rebellion against despair. The canvas of existence may seem blank, but within it lies the power to articulate your truth. The act of creation becomes a defiance of the absurd, a way to assert your presence amidst the silence. You ponder the countless artists, poets, and thinkers who have stood where you stand now. They have faced the void and the hollowness of existence, yet they birthed beauty from their anguish. This journey of creation transcends purpose. It's the act itself that becomes your statement against nothingness. The experience of creating, to engage with feelings, to inflame imagination, is an appointment with life itself. Perhaps the pointlessness of it all reveals a deeper lesson. Life doesn't require purpose to be meaningful. Instead, meaning blooms in the moments you choose to engage. The brushstrokes on your canvas speak not only to the world, but also to your own existence. Each creation becomes a testament to your defiance, a reflection of your inner landscape, a space where dreams collide with reality. This notion shifts your understanding of success and failure. The final product, be it a poem, a painting, or a fleeting moment of kindness, matters less than the authenticity of the experience. To create is to breathe vitality into existence, to assert your identity and emotions in a universe that may not offer clarity. Even if the outcome feels fleeting or unrecognized, it is the act of creation that imbues you with agency. You embrace the paradox that in a world void of apparent meaning, creation holds unparalleled value. The urge to mold and shape, whether it be through words, art, or relationships, becomes a celebration of existence in its fullest complexity. In crafting your reality, you transform the struggle into something tangible, a legacy of your presence that ultimately defies the void. And the void stares back. Not choosing is still a choice. Impossibility of neutrality, Camus. Have you ever paused in the inertia of decision-making, hovering between options, paralyzed by uncertainty? It is in this space of hesitation that you confront a profound truth. Not choosing is, in itself, a choice. Camus disrupts the expectation that choice must always be an overt act. Often, the reluctance to act can define you just as clearly. In moments of indecision, you may believe you can evade responsibility. The allure of neutrality whispers to you, inviting you to remain uninvolved, to forgo commitment to any side. You convince yourself that by standing still, you are avoiding danger. Yet, as the seconds stretch into minutes and minutes into days, you realize that this retreat from decision is a deliberate act, a choice to remain stagnant in the face of complexity. The consequences unfold slowly, their implications often unseen. Each day spent in limbo reshapes your identity, bringing with it a sense of resignation. You learn that all decisions, those made and those avoided, carry weight. The desire to remain neutral can paradoxically lead you to miss out on the richness of experiences that arise from engagement. As you contemplate this interplay, an unsettling energy emerges. You find yourself grappling with the discomfort of inaction. The notion that not choosing somehow allows you to evade consequences dissipates when faced with the reality that every day presents opportunities for movement, connection, and revelation. Ultimately, the acceptance of this truth beckons you to embrace the chaos of existence. Choices need not be grand or sweeping. Even the small decisions resonate and ripple outward. By daring to act, you carve a path that threads between acceptance and rejection, endorsing the option to engage in life fully. In relinquishing the notion of neutrality, you welcome the uncertainty that accompanies choice. This liberation opens the door to participation, a present tense infused with a willingness to create meaning in the act of choosing, however small, grants you a sense of purpose even in the absurd. You stand ready to embrace life's opportunities. In the complexity of choices lies the beauty of existence, a dance of participation that becomes the very essence of your humanity. And the void stares back. Say no, and mean it. Metaphysical rebellion, Camus. What does it mean to embrace the power of refusal? In a world clamoring for conformity, the act of saying no feels revolutionary. Camus invites you to confront the absurdity of existence, suggesting that a simple yet powerful no can serve as an act of defiance against a reality that seems devoid of meaning. Consider the moments when you've bowed to pressure, reshaping your desires to fit the expectations of others. Each forced agreement chips away at your essence, imposing a cage around your true self. You may accommodate, smiling at the world, but beneath the surface brews a simmering conflict, an internal battle between authenticity and obligation. In denying your own desires, you risk losing your voice. Being swept along by the tide becomes tempting as you seek approval and acceptance. But the inherent cost looms large. Each compromise pulls you further from the core of who you are, diluting your identity in a patriarchal echo chamber of expectations. You question whether the safety of agreement is worth the sacrifices made along the way. However, there lies an exhilarating potential in the act of refusal. In declaring your no, you reclaim your agency. This act may seem small, yet it serves to disrupt the narrative written by others and tells the world that you refuse to be defined solely by their perceptions. Within the rebellion against conformity, the absurdity of existence can lead you to profound insights. When you embrace the chaos of refusal, you begin to discover that the world is not always demanding a scripted response. You carve out a space to express your individuality, paving the way for authenticity to flourish amidst the absurd. Each no becomes a heartbeat of resistance, a standing ground where you honor your values even in the face of chaos. You embrace the complexity of existence. Through the lens of rebellion, you see that in saying no, you are not merely rejecting. You are actively choosing to engage with your own desires, to navigate your own emotional landscape. This process invites a new understanding of freedom, one that is intricately tied to authenticity. In moments of doubt, remind yourself of the power you hold in your refusal. It unveils a path forward, a reminder that within the absurdity of life lies the possibility of choice, of agency, and ultimately, of freedom. In declaring your truth, you forge a life that resonates with the vibrant pulse of your authentic self, and the void stares back. The fall that never ends. The fall. Camus. What does it mean to stumble into despair? Camus evokes the imagery of falling, an endless descent that seems to define existence itself. This metaphor echoes through the corridors of your mind as you wrestle with the weight of existence, the way doubts and failures envelop you, pulling you down into a chasm of meaninglessness. Each falling moment becomes a reminder of fragility, an unrelenting cycle of loss and resignation. You navigate the world, aware of the slips and stumbles that punctuate your journey, missed opportunities, fractured friendships, and dreams abandoned. Each fall reminds you of your humanity, of the weight of your choices pressing against your chest, reinforcing the notion of inadequacy. There is a haunting familiarity in this cycle, as risks taken lead to unanticipated consequences. Perhaps it is within these missteps that you discover that the act of rising again proves more profound than the falls themselves. Each descent can teach resilience. It forces you to confront not only your vulnerabilities, but the very fabric of what it means to strive. In this acknowledgement lies a choice: to succumb to despair, or to engage with the absurdity of life. To feel the fall and know that although it can be disheartening, it is also a mark of your willingness to engage, to persevere. Rather than cast down into the abyss, you become the alchemist of your experience, turning failure into insight. The truth emerges. The fall never has a definitive end. It is a recurring motif in the journey of existence. Yet this endlessness offers a strange solace. It teaches you that life is filled with cycles, a reminder that movement, whether upward or downward, is intrinsic to growth. In surrendering to the notion that the fall is a part of being, you shift your perspective. You choose not to let the fear of stumbling paralyze you, but rather embrace the potential for falling as a means of exploration. Instead of adhering strictly to fear, You find a strange beauty in navigating the in-between, neither soaring nor sinking, but learning to dance amidst the chaos. Ultimately, within the fall exists potential, the potential for discovery, renewal, and the reclamation of purpose. In acknowledging this, you render every stumble as a part of the grand tapestry of your journey, allowing you to continue embracing the heights and depths of existence. And the void stares back. Every choice is a renunciation. Anxiety of choice. Sartre. What does it mean to live in a world teeming with choices, each one vibrating with potential and consequences? Sartre animates this struggle, revealing the unsettling truth that each choice you make carries not just possibility, but an inherent burden. Each pathway you select implies a multitude of paths foregone, ripping the fabric of potentiality and attaching you to a singular, often heavy reality. As you stand at the crossroads, every option flashes before you, demanding your attention. The ripple of decisions feels daunting, guiding you through overwhelming uncertainty. What happens when you realize that in the act of choosing, you renounce other possibilities? The weight of this realization settles on your shoulders. It transforms the act of choosing from a liberating experience into a source of anxiety. Moments of doubt may surface. As you weigh each possibility, the anxiety grows. What if the choice you make locks you into a future you might regret? Each decision now bears the weight of your existence, funneling you into a singular narrative. The notion that you hold the reins only serves to intensify the fear of failure, of missing out. Yet in grappling with this anxiety, there also lies a profound invitation for exploration. Each choice becomes an opportunity not only to define yourself, but to reflect on the values that shape your reality. In the face of uncertainty, it encourages you to delve deeper into your motivations and desires, what it is that you truly seek. This process demands you to confront the notion of responsibility, your truth painted vividly against the backdrop of potential lives unlived. It is within this confrontation that you begin to disentangle the disillusionment from your choices. Accepting that every renunciation is a natural part of growth empowers you. When you embrace the fact that choices necessitate the letting go of alternatives, the act itself transforms from a source of anxiety to one of affirmation. Through the lens of acceptance, you begin to see that each decision builds upon the last, creating a unique tapestry of existence. Instead of living in fear of the choice you might not have made, you can cherish the connections forged through the paths you do take. By recognizing the anxiety inherent in choice, you can breathe life into your narratives. Every choice is an aspect of your authentic self. As you continue to define and redefine who you are, you learn to navigate this intricate web of existence with intention and grace. And the void stares back. To live, you must forget yourself. Self-oblivion. Nietzsche. What does it mean to lose oneself? Nietzsche presents the idea of self-oblivion with both caution and optimism, inviting you to explore the nuanced relationship between identity and existence. In a world bustling with obligations, expectations, and relentless pursuit, the notion of forgetting oneself tugs at the core of our understanding. Rather than consider self-forgetting as a loss, what if it becomes a release? Amidst the whirlwind of living, of striving, working, and relating to others, the essence of who you are can become blurred. In becoming consumed with self-identity, you risk becoming trapped in an ego that constricts rather than liberates. The act of forgetting yourself can catalyze a transcendence, inviting you to step outside the confines of perspective where ego reigns supreme. In moments of self-oblivion, you may find solace. The whispers of soul-stifling worries dissipate when you immerse yourself in something larger than your individual experiences. It may happen in the warmth of connection with others, in acts of compassion and kindness, or through immersion in passionate pursuits. Time seems to evaporate as you engage sincerely with life, allowing the outside world to leak into your essence. It's not denying your identity, rather, it's choosing to expand beyond it. Through this perspective, the act of forgetting oneself becomes a way to discover the interconnectedness of existence, a bridge between solitude and solidarity. In shedding the heavy cloak of self-concern, you allow space for deeper connection to flow. The paradox emerges. In losing sight of the self, you often find a greater sense of belonging to humanity. Your experiences weave into the collective narrative, a journey shared, not merely one of isolated existence, but of shared vulnerability and triumph. This act of self-oblivion, while angular and complex, presents possibilities for enrichment. You invite new relationships, insights, and experiences to enter your life, enhancing your narrative without the need for validation. You embrace the notion that in freeing yourself from rigid self-definition, you fuel your pursuit of growth and understanding. Ultimately, to live fully is to challenge the boundaries of identity, to willingly engage with the complexity of your own humanity. It is through this self-forgetting that you encounter your own existence anew, as well as the brilliance of shared experiences woven together through the fabric of life. And the void stares back. What keeps you here? Meaning as survival. Frankl. What does it mean to find purpose in suffering? As you navigate the complexities of existence, you carry with you a desire for meaning, a thread woven through the fabric of your life. Frankl, a survivor of unimaginable hardship, illustrates that meaning can emerge even from the darkest of experiences. You often find yourself wrapped in layers of daily routine, lost in the grind of obligations and societal demands. The meaning can feel elusive, hidden beneath the noise of expectation. When life's pressures mount, the search for significance often intensifies. You wrestle with questions that lead you into deep reflection. Why do you wake up each morning? What gives your life substance? This quest for meaning can ignite a fire within, becoming a lifeline in times of despair. As you engage with the world, grappling with your own struggles and losses, you may also uncover the stories of resilience that surround you. You witness others forging paths through pain, finding purpose where there seems to be none. In these moments, you grasp the truth that shared experience can be a source of strength, a catalyst for finding what keeps you anchored. Survival is not merely about enduring. It is about how you navigate the labyrinth of existence, infusing each moment with purpose. Often, it is in the crucible of suffering that your true self emerges. The rawness of emotion becomes a guide to the essence of what you value, the connections you nurture, the passions you express, the impact you wish to leave upon the world. However, as you confront the weight of these responsibilities, overwhelm can wash over you. The quest for meaning may paradoxically feel burdensome, each realization accompanied by fear of not living up to your potential. Yet within this tension lies an invitation to dig deeper, a reminder that meaning is not a destination, but a journey. You begin to understand that it is in the act of creation, through the relationships forged and the moments cherished, that you cultivate a living purpose. You challenge yourself to find significance in the mundane, to savor fleeting connections and the lessons learned through struggle. By embracing this process, you rediscover the power to shape your narrative. You acknowledge that all experiences, joyful and painful, can contribute to a richer understanding of yourself. Meaning infuses your days with vitality, allowing you to stand steadfast against the forces of despair, illuminating the paths forward in the places you least expect. And the void stares back. What if you had to live this again? Eternal recurrence, Nietzsche. What if life was a loop, perpetually cycling through the same joys and sorrows over and over? Nietzsche's concept of eternal recurrence challenges you to confront the weight of your choices and the nature of your existence. This provocative thought invites deep reflection. If you had to live your life in the same manner, repeating every moment, every decision. Would you embrace it, or would it crush your spirit? The prospect of eternal recurrence sends ripples of unease through your mind. You contemplate your choices, those moments of hesitation, passion, regret, all staged on an infinite loop. Each decision, each relationship, and each failure becomes magnified. The weight of existence bears down heavier, revealing the granularity of your life choices in stark contrast to a narrative that feels all too fleeting. Perhaps this confrontation demands a reckoning with how you live your life now. To face the idea of eternal recurrence is to reassess your values, beliefs, and actions. Would you make different choices? Or could you wholeheartedly embrace your present self and every nuance of your existence? This critical lens becomes both a burden and a liberator, as it encourages you to reflect deeply on the trajectory of your life. You begin to probe the depths of how you invest your time and energy. While the familiar thought patterns may be deceptively comforting, you realize they may also confine you. The fear of repeating perceived mistakes compels you to choose growth over stagnation. Is this not the very essence of living consciously? Instead of succumbing to the unrelenting pressure of daily life, you are invited to cultivate intention and authenticity. What if, within this framework, you chose to live as if each moment mattered intensely? Each day walks the thin line between stagnation and potential. You start to find meaning not in grand achievements, but in the minutiae. Every laugh shared, every tear shed, every moment of creation becomes sacred. By embracing the possibility of a life repeatedly lived, you are called to infuse each breath with purpose. As you reflect, you grow to see that the loop is not a curse, but a challenge to rise to each occasion with sincerity and heart. Your awareness expands, beckoning you to consider how deeply you wish to engage with life itself. You realize that within this cyclical existence lies the capacity for transformation, an opportunity to cultivate joy, express gratitude, and build connections that resonate beyond the confines of time. In accepting the implication of eternal recurrence, you begin crafting a life you would willingly embrace again and again, standing tall in the face of your existential choices. And the void stares back. You're just playing the role, ego as persona, Jung. What if your life is but an elaborate performance? The masks you wear, the roles you embody, all become intricate parts in a play that only you can direct. Jung's exploration of ego and persona invites you to ponder the nature of identity, revealing the complexities that arise when you inhabit different roles throughout your life. As you navigate the world, you find yourself shifting between personas: a student, a friend, a lover, a worker, each one crafted to meet the expectations of your environment. These masks help you fit into the fabric of society, yet they also lead to a profound internal dissonance. Do any of these roles truly reflect who you are, or are they mere constructs designed to mask your vulnerability? In these moments of inquiry, you begin to realize the toll of performing. You may feel the weight of pretense pressing down upon you, a constant reminder that your identity may often feel fragmented. Each role, while allowing for connection, risks diluting the essence of your true self. You wonder whether you can divest the ego from performance and embrace a pure form of authenticity. The challenge lies not in eliminating the masks, but in acknowledging their existence. Each role offers a rich landscape to engage with, even as you peel back the layers to uncover the core of your identity. You can begin to question, how can you engage with each persona without losing sight of the authentic self beneath? This exploration becomes an invitation to embrace the fluidity of identity. Rather than rigidly adhering to any one role, you come to appreciate the beauty embedded in the dynamics of existence. By allowing yourself to shift between identities, you recognize that you are both the actor and the observer, becoming familiar with the nuances of each role you embody. As you embrace this truth, a deeper sense of connection emerges. You understand your experiences, both light and dark, are part of a complex narrative that adds richness to your character. You learn to navigate the space between ego and authenticity, allowing for both to coexist harmoniously. Your performance then transforms into an art form, a vibrant expression of individuality where each persona contributes to the evolving essence of you. You become a storyteller of your own life, weaving through roles with a keen awareness of the depth they can hold. This dance between self and performance ultimately leads you to a deeper appreciation of your humanity. And the void stares back. You are not the center. The other in me, Levinus. What if the essence of existence lays outside your singular experience? Levinus compels you to confront the reality of interconnectedness, a perspective that shifts the gaze from the self to the other. In a world often defined by individualism, the realization can feel both remarkable and daunting. You are not the center of your universe. As you navigate relationships, there lies a subtle tension between the self and the other, the desire for autonomy clashing with the recognition of shared humanity. Each encounter presents an opportunity to engage with another's truth, unveiling the intricate tapestry of existence woven from countless stories. Yet, this realization can unsettle you. In a society that celebrates individuality, the acknowledgement that others are equally valid, equally deserving, places a mirror to your heart. It challenges your notions of identity, urging you to see that your narrative is but one thread in a vast interconnected web. To diminish the importance of the other is to obscure the very essence that gives life its richness. As this understanding takes root, a feeling of responsibility begins to unfurl. You grasp that the act of recognizing others' experiences enriches your own. This acknowledgement shapes your understanding of empathy, allowing you to see the world through different eyes. Each connection becomes a bridge, a reminder that your existence is tied to countless others, where the fabric of meaning is woven through collective struggle and celebration. The challenge, however, often lies in balance. The recognition of the other can provoke feelings of vulnerability. You may feel the weight of their expectations, their suffering, and their joy. Yet within this acceptance, you tap into a profound source of growth. Embracing the other fosters a dynamic interplay that brings forth insights into your own journey, leading to a deeper understanding of what it means to be human. You are prompted to reflect on the spaces you share. How can you create connections that honor both your individuality and the collective experience? By engaging in dialogue, by opening your heart to the stories that others bring, you allow the tension of being both self and other to dissolve, forging a path towards richness and unity. Ultimately, this shift in perspective empowers you to inhabit your existence with greater intention. You discover that within the recognition of the other lies not just responsibility, but liberation. It is in the surrendering of the ego that you discover the depths of connection, an invitation to co-create meaning with those who walk alongside you. And the void stares back, trapped in others' eyes. Hell is other people. Sartre. What does it mean to exist in the gaze of others? Every encounter is laden with expectation, judgment, and perception. Sartre's chilling assertion that hell is other people captures the tension that often lies beneath the surface of human interaction. As you navigate relationships, the weight of scrutiny can crush your authentic self, pulling you into a dance choreographed by the desires and fears of those around you. There's a moment of realization when you feel the eyes of others upon you. Their opinions cut deep, reshaping your sense of self. You become a reflection of what they wish to see. The pressure to conform tightens like a noose, stifling your individuality and leaving you gasping under the weight of collective expectation. What if the essence of who you are gets lost in the vast sea of perception, forever distorted by others' judgments? As you ponder these questions, a realization ebbs and flows. The very act of being seen forms a complex relationship between self and other. You crave connection, yet the vulnerability that comes with exposure often breeds anxiety. The fear of being misunderstood, misrepresented, or reduced to a mere image can drive you into isolation, causing you to withdraw into the safety of self-imposed boundaries. In this prison of perception, the struggle becomes navigating your own identity amid the chaos of reflections. Who are you when stripped of the weight of others' expectations? Does your essence fade in the brightness of their scrutiny? The discomfort lies in the double-edged sword of self-awareness. While it fosters connection, it can also imprison you within the roles you feel compelled to play. Amid this turmoil emerges a quiet revelation: you can reclaim your power. The realization that you have agency in how you respond to the gaze of others marks a turning point. Instead of conforming blindly, you can choose to embrace your identity with authenticity, even if it means standing apart. A conscious act of self-acceptance breaks through the fear, creating space to express your truth. You are a complex entity, a blend of experiences that transcends the perceptions of others. As you learn to embrace all facets of yourself, the pressure of being confined within others' expectations begins to lessen. You assert your narrative, discovering that it's possible to balance intimacy with individuality. As you attempt to redefine your existence, you come to understand that while others will always cast their gaze, it is your perspective that matters most. In this unfolding process, you find strength, an unwavering sense of self that withstands the external forces at play. You learn that existence is indeed colored by the perceptions of others. Yet, true freedom lies in embracing your intricate identity, allowing yourself to flourish amidst the tensions of being seen and understood. And the void stares back. Laughing at the void is all you have. Laughing at the absurd, Camus. What if laughter became your most steadfast companion amid absurdity? The void looms large, an inescapable reality that echoes the futility of existence. Camus presents a radical alternative in the face of despair, an invitation to laugh, to confront the absurdity head-on with irreverence and courage. You find yourself caught in the tensions of daily life, battling the weight of expectations, struggles, and fleeting moments of joy. The realization dawns. The search for meaning is riddled with absurdity, an endless loop of questions left unanswered. It is in this confrontation that the seed of laughter takes root. The absurdity of life becomes a beacon, illuminating the paradoxes that surround your existence. Consider the moments that provoke laughter, the missteps, the quirks, the irrationality of life that stitches together the human experience. As you reflect, you recognize that in embracing absurdity, you cultivate resilience. The absurd is not a void to be feared, but an essence to be celebrated. The act of laughing amidst chaos liberates you from the constraints of searching for definitive answers. You learn that laughter disarms the weight of despair, providing a refuge in the face of uncertainty. Rather than succumbing to nihilism, you can actively engage with the absurd. Embracing the inherent contradictions that define life allows you to share in the human struggle, to revel in the silliness of existence, the beauty of failure, and the stark reality of the inevitable. In this recognition, you find a powerful freedom. Rather than isolating you, laughter invites connection. The shared understanding of absurdity becomes a bridge to empathy. Each chuckle serves to remind you of the fragility and impermanence of existence. Within that understanding, relationships flourish, creating the space for vulnerability and shared experiences. As you navigate the absurd, laughter transforms from mere amusement into a profound act of rebellion. It challenges you to resist the gravitational pull of despair, to rise above the tensions that might otherwise confine you. By daring to laugh, you reclaim agency over your experience, painting your narrative with shades of joy, connection, and authenticity. Ultimately, laughter becomes a tool for self-assertion, an expression of life that acknowledges the absurd yet refuses to yield to it. In this defiance, you craft a narrative that celebrates the beauty of existence in all its complexities. You learn to meet the void with laughter, transforming the weight of life into a lightness of being, and the void stares back. Meaning is a lie we tell ourselves. The absurd, Camus. What if the very structure of meaning is built on illusions? The quest for significance often consumes you, leading you to craft narratives that provide comfort amidst uncertainty. Camus invites you to reflect on the absurd, the chasm between the human desire for purpose and the universe's inherent indifference. In your daily existence, the constructs of meaning shape your actions and beliefs. You find yourself desperately clinging to stories, traditions, and aspirations that promise connection and fulfillment. Yet, beneath the surface lies a profound unease, the dawning awareness that these meanings might be mere coping mechanisms, delicately spun webs that provide false security. As you confront the absurdity of existence, a tension emerges. The world does not offer the clarity you seek. Life unfolds chaotically, filled with moments that challenge your beliefs and spark doubt. In grappling with this realization, you become acutely aware of the stories you tell yourself, narratives that both construct and limit your understanding of reality. The challenge lies not in abandoning all meaning, but in navigating a path that acknowledges its constructed nature. Meaning is a dance between desire and illusion, a fragile formulation that often requires reinforcement. Each story you tell may provide temporary solace, yet the underlying truth remains. The universe does not owe you clarity or purpose. It exists, indifferent and vast. In this acknowledgement, a peculiar liberation emerges. When you accept the absurd, you learn to embrace life without the constraints of imposed meaning. The narratives become tools rather than dogmas, pliable structures that guide you while allowing for exploration. The freedom lies not in finding absolute meaning, but in crafting your narrative as you navigate the chaos. You invite curiosity into your existence, approaching each moment with a sense of wonder. Rather than adhering strictly to a particular belief, you experiment with possibilities and perspectives. The absurdity of life may seem weighty at first, but as you lean into the unknown, you begin to cultivate a profound resilience, understanding that meaning can be fluid, shaped by your experiences and insights. Ultimately, you exist within the tension of the absurd, a state of being where you learn to celebrate questions more than answers. This embrace of uncertainty empowers you to find joy and depth in the contradictions of existence. You discover that while meaning may be a lie, the exploration of life itself becomes a narrative rich with potential, an invitation to engage fully in a world that defies easy categorization. And the void stares back, floating in the void. Passive nihilism, Nietzsche. What does it mean to drift aimlessly within uncertainty? The sensation of floating in the void can feel disorienting, a liminal space devoid of anchor, purpose, or direction. Nietzsche's exploration of passive nihilism unveils a stark truth. The absence of intrinsic meaning can lead to a surrender of agency, a resignation to existence as mere survival. In this state of floating, the world may feel like a series of empty rituals, routines devoid of significance. You navigate day to day, merely carrying out prescribed roles, unsure of your aspirations, feeling the weight of the void pressing against your spirit. The allure of passivity tempts you to withdraw, creating a cocoon where feelings of inadequacy can thrive without challenge. Yet, as you linger in this void, something interrupts your resignation, the flutter of realization. The absence of overarching meaning invites you to confront your existence, forcing an introspective reckoning. It becomes clear that floating, while seemingly a shelter from the storm, is a denial of potential. The void may appear enticing, but within it, opportunities for growth and engagement with life dissolve. As you cultivate awareness, you recognize that passive nihilism is not the final destination, but merely a phase. Within this awareness lies the potential for awakening, a challenge to reclaim agency and define your narrative. Instead of succumbing to the void, you can engage with it, embracing the uncertainty as fertile ground for exploration. In allowing yourself to feel, to connect, to create, you transform the void into a canvas upon which to paint your existence. The act of engagement becomes a rebellion against passivity. Through deliberate choices, each moment opens new avenues of connection, joy, and meaning. As you navigate away from the void, you learn that pain, joy, and existence intertwine in a dance that demands your participation. Rather than floating aimlessly, you seize the helm of your life, acknowledging the beauty in courageously stepping into the unknown. Your engagement becomes a powerful force, carving meaning from the void, challenging you to innovate and dream. You embrace the chaos, finding depth in the experience of living, knowing that your journey is a unique expression of resilience against the backdrop of nothingness. And the void stares back. Destroy what no longer serves. Active nihilism. Nietzsche. What if your existence was built upon foundations that no longer stand? The realm of active nihilism invites you to confront the structures of meaning, beliefs, desires, and identities that have faded into irrelevance. Nietzsche's call to destroy what no longer serves speaks to a profound act of renewal, a challenge to dismantle the old in search of the new. You begin by examining the layers that shield your essence. The habits you've cultivated, the stories you've told yourself. Each piece once served a purpose, perhaps providing comfort or security. Yet now, under the weight of reflection, some elements feel stale, hollow, or suffocating. The question emerges: why cling to what only serves to confine you? In this exploration, discomfort surfaces as you confront the fear of change. The thought of recalibrating your identity, a task so monumental, can be paralyzing. What happens to the self you've built when you destroy the old? The echoes of loss reverberate deeply within you, threatening to drown out the voices of potential. Yet here lies the paradox. In dismantling these structures, you also carve out space for growth and reinvention. Consider the act of destruction not as an end, but as a powerful beginning. Each fragment of what you let go reveals possibilities for something more potent and authentic. Allowing the sacred to crumble can lead to uncovering the hidden truths that lie beneath. In releasing outdated narratives, you confront the possibility of transformation, the flourishing of a self unencumbered by the past. You realize that active nihilism is, at its core, a rebirth. Rather than retreating into despair, you harness the chaos, using it as a catalyst to create a life that resonates with who you are now. Each act of destruction paves the way for reconstruction, for building new connections that reflect your evolving essence. As you engage with this continuous process, you cultivate strength through intentional choice. While the act of letting go can feel deeply unsettling, each step forward is an embrace of your evolving identity. It becomes a journey filled with discovery, where the void left by destruction can be filled with creativity, authenticity, and possibility. In embracing the cycle of destruction, you acknowledge not just your own fluidity, but that of life itself. The active engagement with nihilism becomes an art form, a dance of dismantling and rebuilding, leading to a landscape of existence rich with potential and resonance. And the void stares back. The lie that becomes you. Invented truth. Nietzsche. What narratives shape your identity? The stories we tell ourselves often serve to construct the framework of who we are. Nietzsche captivates your attention with the notion that some of these truths may be nothing more than fabrications, lies that, despite their falsehood, become powerful in their influence. The question looms: have you created a self from illusions? You may find comfort in stories that ease the discomfort of existence. These narratives insulate you against the chaos of life, presenting a seamless facade of identity. But as you reflect on these constructed realities, doubt begins to creep in. Are these invented truths providing clarity, or are they imprisoning you within boundaries that stifle your growth? In recognizing the lies that underpin your self-concept, a tension surfaces. The act of confronting these assertions can feel daunting. Revealing the cracks in your carefully curated identity may leave you exposed, vulnerable to scrutiny. What would it mean to unravel these narratives? Would you feel liberated or lost in an unfamiliar landscape? The potential for discovery becomes both a gift and a challenge. By acknowledging the lies that have shaped you, you cultivate the strength to step beyond them. This process of deconstruction invites you to breathe life into an authentic narrative, one forged in reality rather than illusion. Engaging with the truths that resonate deeply allows you to reclaim agency over your identity. Instead of rejecting the constructed lies outright, you learn to redefine them. Each fabricated truth becomes a stepping stone, an understanding of how you navigated challenges and sought connection. In your exploration, these lies can transform into tools for self-awareness, guiding you through the murky waters of existence toward authenticity. You begin to realize that identity can be fluid, a canvas painted with various hues and textures. Rather than allowing the invented truths to confine you, they can serve as vibrant markers along your journey. The acceptance of your complexities enriches your narrative, revealing the intricate layers within. Ultimately, you discover that authentic existence lies not in a singular truth, but in the ongoing creation of self, a fluid dialogue between who you were and who you are becoming. The exploration of these invented truths allows you to break free from their constraints, embracing the fullness of your evolving identity as you craft the story that is uniquely yours. And the void stares back. Is anything real without you? Idealism, Berkeley. What does it mean to exist if reality is contingent upon perception? Berkeley's idealism challenges you to question the very nature of existence and the relationship between self and the world. The profound assertion that nothing can exist independently of perception prompts deep introspection. How do you define reality? And what role does your consciousness play in shaping it? In moments of stillness, you contemplate the landscape around you. Objects, sounds, and interactions take form, yet one undeniable truth emerges. Without your awareness, they fade into the ether. This realization stretches the boundaries of reality, compelling you to wrestle with the significance of your own existence. Is your perception the architect of reality, crafting a world that breathes only when observed? As you engage with this question, you may encounter uncertainty and vulnerability. The implications of idealism pull you toward an untethered awareness, where existence itself feels precarious. What happens when you recognize that your understanding of the world hinges on perception? The very fabric of your beliefs and experiences begins to unravel before your eyes. Yet, amid this unraveling, lies an opportunity for exploration. The connection between perception and existence opens the door to profound discovery. You grasp the inherent power within awareness, the capacity to shape your reality through intention and vision. The world lays itself bare, waiting for your engagement, your interpretation, your beauty. You begin to contemplate the interplay between self and other, the existence of objects not merely as static entities, but as reflections of your consciousness. In this understanding, relationships form a critical aspect of reality. Each interaction enriches and deepens your understanding, blurring the lines between self and the world. You recognize that, far from being isolated, your existence intermingles with the qualitative landscapes created by those around you. As you embrace this awareness, a profound realization unfolds. Meaning is not defined by what exists apart from you, but by how you choose to engage with it. The threads of reality weave through your existence, shaping a narrative where perception and truth coexist dynamically. You learn to celebrate this dance, where your consciousness breathes life into the world, crafting connections that hold meaning and depth. Ultimately, you find comfort in this exploration. Facing the existential question of reality, you understand that existence is a shared tapestry, inviting you to engage, challenge, and flourish within the continuum of perception. It is in this interplay between self and reality that the richness of life becomes most vivid, a celebration of existence informed by both the self and the world. And the void stares back. You are not separate. Monism, Spinoza, Advaita, Vedanta. What does it mean to transcend the illusion of separation? The notion that you are inherently connected to everything around you can be both liberating and unsettling. Monism invites you to examine the nature of existence, proposing that the boundaries you perceive may be fabrications, mere illusions that obscure the unity of being. As you navigate through life, the sense of individuality can feel pervasive at times. Your desires, your fears, your aspirations seem distinctly yours. Yet beneath this surface of individuality, a deeper truth lies waiting to be acknowledged: the interconnectedness of all existence. The elements of the universe pulse together, each life resonating within the greater whole. When you reflect upon this idea, you may encounter a profound sense of belonging, yet also an unsettling dissolution of self. It can be terrifying to confront the truth that the separateness you cling to is, in a sense, an illusion. The grip of ego loosens as you recognize that each action reverberates through the web of existence, carrying implications beyond your individual experience. As you lean into this realization, an expansive awareness unfolds. You become more attuned to the flow of life, the shared emotions, aspirations, and struggles that bind humanity together. This interconnectedness fosters compassion, empathy, and understanding, creating a fertile ground for relationships to flourish. You learn that to deny the unity of existence is to resist the very essence of being. By embracing the interconnectedness, you liberate yourself from the confines of isolation and fear. Each relationship, each experience becomes an expression of the whole, a vibrant dance that weaves through the tapestry of existence. This reconceptualization invites you to engage fully in your relationships, understanding that your well-being is intertwined with the well-being of others. You cultivate a sense of responsibility, recognizing that while your actions may seem small, they contribute to the larger pattern of life. Ultimately, embracing the reality of non-separation leads you toward a life of authenticity and connection. You learn to navigate the world without the heavy burden of isolation, allowing your true essence to resonate within the greater whole. A reflection of an indifferent universe that imposes consequences without cause. You might find yourself caught in a world where expectation and responsibility converge into a cloud of anxiety. Each day becomes a balancing act, a tightrope walk over a chasm of dread where the fear of petty infractions consumes you. The sense of being perpetually observed, that judgment lies just beneath the surface, leaves you feeling vulnerable, as though guilt could manifest at any moment, independent of actual wrongdoing. Yet, as the existential weight settles within you, you begin to explore the concept of this inherent guilt. It invites questions that delve beneath the superficiality of life. Are you truly defined by the choices you make, or do the invisible forces of society mold your guilt into an affliction? The lines blur between accountability and the extent to which you are merely navigating a corrupted system. As this contemplation evolves, you find a glimmer of clarity. If punishment can exist without crime, perhaps the power to reclaim your narrative resides within you. The absurd nature of guilt urges you to challenge the structures that keep you locked in cycles of fear. Each moment presents an opportunity to reshape your relationship with guilt and redefine what it means to exist authentically without the arbitrary chains of judgment. This journey toward liberation does not come without its complexity. Understanding that guilt does not equate to actual wrongdoing empowers you to examine the narratives you've internalized. You begin to dismantle the constructs that cloud your sense of self, recognizing the freedom that emerges from relinquishing the burden of imposed guilt. You can offer yourself grace, disentangling from the self-accusations that weigh on your conscience. In grappling with guilt as an existential condition, you become the architect of your own truth. You navigate the space between existence and judgment, transforming the absurdity of guilt into a tool for self-reflection and growth. The weight may remain, but you learn to redefine its significance, embracing the understanding that freedom exists even in a world filled with unwarranted punishment, and the void stares back. No one can enter you. Ontological solitude, Heidegger. What does it mean to live in a state of profound isolation? Heidegger's exploration of ontological solitude invites you to confront the essence of your being. The realization that while connections may surround you, true understanding remains elusive. The notion that no one can fully enter the depths of your experience brings both sorrow and clarity to your existence. It's a familiar tension, isn't it? You move through life, engaging with others and traversing the complexities of relationships, yet there lingers an innate solitude that colors your experience. You may share laughter, grief, and dreams with those you hold dear, but the understanding of your unique path is yours alone. This intricate web of connection can feel superficial against the backdrop of your inner world, an echo chamber of thoughts and emotions that often goes unheard. In recognizing this solitude, a heightened awareness emerges. You confront the possibility that the depth of your experience, while rich and complex, can never be fully communicated. Each moment filters through a lens of individuality, leading to the realization that your inner landscape remains a solitary terrain. Loneliness can seep in like the chill of dusk, whispering of your unique struggles and aspirations. Yet within this challenge, an opportunity arises. Embracing your ontological solitude allows you to cultivate an authentic relationship with yourself. Far from being a burden, this solitude can be a sanctuary, a space to reflect, to grow, and to delve into the core of your being. You learn to honor your thoughts, your feelings, and your longings, recognizing that the journey inward fosters strength and understanding. In this embrace of solitude, you connect more deeply with your own narrative, weaving a story that is uniquely yours. You begin to find solace in the realization that solitude is not a void to be feared, but a space to explore perspectives and truths excluded from the collective consciousness. Within this exploration lies the potential for transformation, leading you to synthesize your experiences into a richer sense of self. Moreover, this journey inward fosters a profound empathy for others. By understanding that each person grapples with their own solitude, you begin to cultivate compassion and connection. This shared realization of individual experience allows you to forge deeper bonds grounded in recognition and understanding. Ultimately, you emerge with a newfound appreciation for your own journey. In embracing the solitude that exists within, you affirm the intricate beauty of being human, navigating a world filled with both connection and existential depth. And the void stares back. Love that requires loss. Tragic love, Kierkegaard. What if love, in its most profound form, is inevitably intertwined with loss? Kierkegaard's exploration of tragic love reveals the complexity of human emotion, challenging you to confront the bittersweet paradox that love often demands sacrifice, an inevitability that can leave you both enriched and devastated. As you immerse yourself in the experience of love, the thrill of connection fills your heart, igniting passion and joy. Yet beneath the surface lies the lurking awareness that every beautiful encounter may also carry the seed of loss. The more deeply you invest, the greater the potential for heartache. You grapple with this tension. How can something so vibrant be shadowed by the inevitability of letting go? In contemplating tragic love, you start to recognize that the intertwining of joy and sorrow is what gives love its texture. Each memory created becomes a delicate thread in the tapestry of your existence, and with each lived moment, the weight of loss grows heavier. This dichotomy invites you to confront your fears, not just of losing the other, but of losing the parts of yourself that are entwined in love's embrace. But this exploration also reveals something liberating. The love that demands loss underscores the importance of presence and vulnerability. By acknowledging the impermanence of relationships, you learn to cherish the fleeting moments, to embrace the intensity of connection without reservation. You cultivate gratitude for the transcendent experience of love, even while accepting its limitations. In accepting the tragic dimension of love, you begin to comprehend the fullness of the human experience. Love becomes a journey, an exploration marked by profound joy and inevitable grief. It is within this dance of emotions that you discover the richness of existence, the beauty that unfolds even in fleeting connections. Ultimately, the acknowledgement of love alongside loss empowers you to navigate your emotional landscape with authenticity. You embrace the truth that while love may require sacrifice, it also fuels your growth, broadening your understanding of what it means to be human. Every relationship becomes a chapter, each moment a whispered story of transformation, allowing you to honor both the love and the loss that define your journey. And the void stares back. Pain sees more than joy. Suffering as lens. Buddha, Schopenhauer. What if suffering allows you to see the world more clearly? The ache of existence, the trials, the heartaches, the struggles, often feels burdensome, yet this perspective invites you to reconsider the role of pain in shaping your understanding. Buddha and Schopenhauer propose that suffering can serve as a penetrating lens, revealing truths obscured by the superficiality of joy. When you experience pain, the world sharpens. The emotions flood in, forcing you to confront the depths of your experience beyond the ephemeral pleasures that can easily lull you into complacency. Each moment of anguish becomes an invitation to delve deeper into the essence of existence, where joy often retreats in the shadows. You may reflect on your experiences, how moments of suffering have propelled you toward growth and self-awareness. The trials you endure become mirrors, highlighting the fragility of happiness. It is often within the harshness of reality that your true self emerges, stripped of pretense, grappling with uncomfortable truths that offer clarity. This wrestling with pain can feel monumental, yet it unveils a profound understanding of empathy. As you confront your own anguish, you develop the capacity to recognize the suffering of others, a connection where pain transcends isolation, fostering solidarity in shared experience. The lens of suffering becomes a bridge, inviting you to engage with the humanity in those around you. By embracing the duality between joy and pain, you develop a nuanced appreciation for the interplay of emotions. While joy may gift you fleeting moments of warmth, pain unveils depth and complexity, a range of human experience that broadens your understanding. Independence from fleeting happiness invites you into a more profound relationship with existence, framing it as a dynamic, multifaceted journey. Ultimately, you discover that pain not only acts as a lens, but also as a catalyst. It drives you toward introspection, toward understanding, and toward connection. In consciously engaging with suffering, you carve out meanings that deepen your experience of life. You learn to navigate the world with an awareness that acknowledges both the beauty and gravity of existence, and the void stares back. You can't go back to ignorance. Consciousness as curse. Camus. What if awareness is a burden? The act of becoming conscious can light the path of understanding, but it can also cast long shadows that obscure the innocent bliss of ignorance. Camus offers a stark reminder that once you've lifted the veil, there's no return to the simplicity of unknowing. This realization pauses you, inviting deep introspection into the paradox of knowledge and its consequences. The enlightenment you seek often feels like a double-edged sword. You may remember a time when life felt so clear-cut, when the rules were simple and reality was a comfortable facade. But as awareness washes over you, those previous certainties begin to crumble. Every revelation comes with the weight of responsibility, the inescapable truth that you must not only contend with your own existence, but also become acutely aware of the suffering and chaos surrounding you. Your heightened consciousness brings with it the stark reality of human finitude and the stories that shape your identity. Each new understanding can feel like sand slipping through your fingers, leaving you yearning for the comfort of a simpler time. Yet, holding on to the past may serve only to suffocate your growth. The temptation to retreat into ignorance becomes a seductive shield against the discomfort of reality. As you navigate this internal landscape, you confront the discomfort that comes with awareness. Each moment spent in introspection reveals truths about yourself and the world that are often difficult to accept. Yet therein lies a unique power, the power to choose how you engage with consciousness. Embracing it opens the doorway to deeper understanding, challenging you to live authentically. In surrendering to the complexity of life, you realize that consciousness is not merely a curse, it can also be a crucible for transformation. The very thoughts and feelings you once considered burdens become catalysts for growth. It is in accepting your awareness that you align with your experiences, learning to navigate the depths of human existence rather than circumvent it. Ultimately, the burden of consciousness may not be something to bear passively. Rather, it must be engaged. You learn to weave meaning from the threads of your awareness, finding solace in the stories and connections created through shared understanding. As you maneuver through the richness of experience, you recognize that it is precisely this painful awareness that enables authenticity and profound connection with others. And the void stares back. Everything you love will die. Existential tragedy, Stoicism, Camus. What if love is inexorably tied to loss? The realization that everything you hold dear is impermanent shadows, every relationship, every moment of joy, raising a question that haunts your existence. Camus and Stoicism lay bare this truth, reminding you that the beauty of love is inevitably intertwined with the tragedy of mortality. The pain of this acknowledgement can feel suffocating. Each moment shared, each breath taken with those you cherish is a fleeting encounter bound to slip away. You cling to memories, trying to freeze beautiful instances in time, but the relentless march of existence renders them ephemeral. The heart aches at the truth that loss is woven into the very fabric of love, a thread that both embellishes and frays. As you grapple with this duality, you are invited to confront the profound sadness that lies at the heart of your relationships. The prospect of losing what you love can lead to anxiety, prompting you to withdraw, holding on to moments with a grip that can suffocate. Yet, in allowing the weight of loss to inform your experience, you may come to embrace a more profound gratitude, a shift in perspective that opens your heart rather than closes it. Each moment spent together becomes a testament to the profundity of love and connection. You learn to savor the joy nestled in the contradictions. By acknowledging the fragility of existence, you gain insight into the richness it brings. Love is not meant to exist under the spectre of fear. It thrives in the acceptance of impermanence, transforming it into a celebration of now. In this acceptance, loss loses its sting and becomes a powerful reminder of the beauty that lies in the present. You choose to engage fully in the moments shared, knowing they may be fleeting, rather than retreating to safeguard against inevitable heartache. The The willingness to embrace love despite its tragedy becomes an act of courage, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Ultimately, the experiences of love and loss coalesce into a rich fabric of existence, affirming not only the depth of your connections, but your inherent humanity. You emerge with an appreciation for the beauty of transient moments, allowing the bittersweet nature of love to enrich your experience rather than diminish it, and the void stares back. You built ethics from envy, resentment, Nietzsche. What if your moral compass is shaped by resentment? Nietzsche's exploration of resentment challenges you to consider the motivations behind your sense of ethics, suggesting that envy and bitterness can serve as powerful undercurrents in the construction of moral values. This perspective invites you to question the origins of your beliefs and whether they arise from genuine conviction or as reactions to perceived injustices. You reflect on the moral judgment that permeates your life, noticing how it often feels fraught with contradictions. The rules you've embraced, the ethics you uphold, may subtly reflect a reaction to the successes and privileges of others. Each expectation can be traced back to a feeling of inadequacy or the yearning for what someone else possesses. The insights of resentment beckon you to confront these uncomfortable truths. As this contemplation unfolds, you find yourself grappling with the implications of discontent. The moral framework you've built could stem from a place of anger or frustration, perhaps even masking the desires that remain unfulfilled. In recognizing this dynamic, you may feel a mix of empowerment and vulnerability, as it reveals the limitations inherent in a morality born from envy. Yet Nietzsche does not merely present this as a condemnation of morality. He opens the door to reflection and growth. By recognizing the foundations of your ethical beliefs, you can choose to dismantle or rebuild them with intentionality. This process allows you to uncover what resonates with your core identity and aligns with your authentic self, devoid of contempt or comparison. In this awakening, you learn to craft a morality that stands firmly on the pillars of compassion, understanding, and growth, rather than rooted in resentment. As you nurture this process, you find a deeper appreciation for the complexities of human emotion. The capacity for envy shifts from a source of bitterness to a catalyst for inspiration and change, a call to rise beyond competitive instincts to explore the beauty in your own individuality. Ultimately, the challenge becomes a journey towards sincerity. By deconstructing narratives of envy, you sharpen your ethical framework, choosing to embody values that reflect your values. You emerge from this exploration renewed, grounded in authenticity, and liberated from the shackles of resentment that once influenced your worldview. And the void stares back. Peace through paranoia, fear as political foundation, Hobbes. What if safety comes at the price of distrust? Hobbes's depiction of a society governed by fear unveils a chilling truth. To maintain peace, individuals often rely on paranoia, leading to structures of power that sustain control through the very anxiety they generate. The paradox demands your attention. What does it mean when security is based on a foundation of fear? You contemplate the dynamics of modern power, recognizing how political structures are often steeped in suspicion. The insistence on safeguarding against potential threats transforms into a cycle of distrust. As you navigate through daily life, this paranoia becomes embedded in the societal fabric, shaping perceptions and interactions. You begin to notice how every encounter is filtered through the lens of anxiety, crumbling the possibility of genuine trust. As you grapple with this reality, questions linger. How does the need for security warp the essence of community? Rather than fostering connection, fear can promote division, breeding hostility where empathy should reside. It challenges you to consider whether peace maintained through paranoia is worth the cost of authenticity and relationship. Yet amid this examination, a glimmer of potential emerges. Your awareness allows you to challenge the status quo, to engage with fear without allowing it to dictate your responses. It becomes a conscious choice to cultivate connections grounded in trust and openness, to step beyond the confines of suspicion and reach for understanding. In embracing this transformative process, you learn to value authenticity over the comfort of the status quo. It becomes imperative to acknowledge the ways power governs interactions through fear, while simultaneously asserting your agency in creating spaces of trust. This journey encourages you to participate in dialogues that transcend anxiety, forging communities built on compassion rather than control. Ultimately, the exploration of paranoia as a political foundation becomes a call toward resilience. In recognizing the cycle, you can cultivate awareness and courage, choosing to defy a reality shaped solely by fear. You venture into creating an environment where trust can flourish, shifting the paradigm from one of paranoia to one of power, where safety emerges not from suspicion, but through the very bonds of shared humanity. And the void stares back. You're running out of time. Human finitude, Heidegger. What does it mean to grasp the transient nature of existence? Heidegger's contemplation of human finitude unveils an unsettling truth. Life is limited, and the finite nature of time offers both a weight and a liberation that compels you to engage fully with the moment. Each tick of the clock resonates as a reminder of your mortality, and the urgency it brings can be both suffocating and invigorating. In the hustle of daily life, the awareness of time's passing can often feel distant, a vague notion overshadowed by the chaos of routine. Yet there are moments when the fleeting essence of time strikes you sharply. Perhaps it comes in the form of a bittersweet memory or a loss that shakes the ground beneath your feet. At such times, the grip of finitude becomes tangible, stirring a mixture of dread and awakening deep within. As you confront this reality, you may feel the weight of unfinished dreams and lost opportunities. The pressures of societal expectations conspire to drown out the essence of living. How often do you find yourself racing against the clock, striving to meet the demands of an invisible schedule? The fear of running out of time can imprison your mind, a paradox that can inhibit your capacity to experience life in its fullness. Yet within this acknowledgement lies an opportunity for empowerment. Embracing your finitude invites you to curate meaning within the boundaries of existence. As you reflect deeply, you begin to see the beauty forged through urgency. The clarity that emerges when you recognize the brevity of life allows you to prioritize what truly matters. Time becomes your ally, steering you toward authentic engagement with each moment. You learn to embrace the now, to cultivate presence rather than slipping into distraction. The power of choice solidifies your resolve to invest in relationships, experiences, and passions that resonate with your core being. As you navigate through the awareness of human finitude, the pressure transforms into an invitation. You arrive at a deeper understanding that while life may be limited, the depth of experience can expand infinitely when approached with intention. Each moment is both an end and a beginning, a precious opportunity to craft your narrative, shaping a life that celebrates existence in all its complexities. Ultimately, you recognize that embracing finitude leads to liberation. It fosters bravery as you savor the transient beauty of each heartbeat, igniting a sense of purpose that propels you forward, ever mindful of the preciousness of time. And the void stares back. You will never know you died. Death as non-event. Epicurus. What if the greatest mystery of existence is wrapped in the shroud of death? Epicurus provocatively asserts that the reality of mortality brings not fear, but peace. This bold declaration invites you to reconsider what death truly signifies, a non-event that remains forever inaccessible to those who live. The concept lingers in your mind, echoing through the corridors of your consciousness. As you contemplate death, you confront an uncomfortable truth: the ephemeral nature of existence. Each heartbeat offers the promise of life, yet every beat moves you closer to the end. The anticipation of your own mortality can cast a shadow over your daily experience, an ever-present reminder of the inevitable. However, Epicurus invites you to untangle that dread, to understand that once you die, you simply cease to be. In this realization lies a profound liberation. Consider the anxiety that often accompanies thoughts of death, the whispers of what-ifs, the fear of unfulfilled dreams or unresolved relationships. In grappling with these thoughts, you begin to recognize how paralyzing they can be, shaping decisions and actions in ways that detract from living fully. But when you embrace the notion that death is merely a transition, devoid of awareness or sensation, the urgency of existence shifts dramatically. You realize that rather than fearing what lies beyond, the true challenge is to embody life with intention and vibrancy. This perspective invites you to focus on the moments that matter, to treasure the experiences that bring you joy and connection. Living with the acceptance of mortality can transform your outlook, urging you to embrace love, laughter, and authenticity without hesitation. In cultivating this awareness, you learn that life's impermanence enhances its beauty. The fleeting nature of existence becomes a powerful motivator, prompting you to pursue passions and engage in meaningful relationships. Rather than being constrained by the anxiety of mortality, you come to find freedom in the acknowledgement that life is finite, urging you to infuse each moment with significance. Ultimately, the realization that you will never know you died encourages you to live with urgency, authenticity, and gratitude. In freeing your mind from the chains of fear, you can lean fully into the richness of existence, embracing its complexities. You discover that life's ephemeral beauty lies not in avoiding death, but in passionately participating in the moments that define your journey. And the void stares back. What if the nothing is watching you? The void watches back. Existential postmodernism. What if, lurking beneath the surface of life, there is an all-seeing nothing that observes your existence? This unsettling question prompts a profound confrontation with the void, a concept that can simultaneously evoke dread and curiosity. It beckons you to explore the nature of existence and your place within it, leading you to wonder, what does it mean to be watched by emptiness itself? As you navigate your daily life, the implications of this thought percolate through your consciousness. The idea that the void, in its indifference, may be observing your every move can provoke existential terror. You may grapple with the weight of the gaze. What does it mean to be witnessed by nothingness? The absence of intention or value within the void leads you to confront the underlying loneliness and insignificance woven through human experience. Yet, this confrontation with the void offers more than anxiety. It invites introspection. When you embrace the concept of the void watching back, you learn to strip away the exteriors, those constructed masks and narratives that often shroud authenticity. The void becomes a mirror, reflecting your truths and insecurities, urging you to confront the complexities of existence without the distractions of societal demands. In accepting the void as both an observer and a part of your reality, you begin to uncouple the need for validation from external sources. You discover that the gaze of the void can be liberating, freeing you from the shackles of the opinions and expectations that often dictate your actions. It challenges you to live without pretense, empowering you to carve out your own meaning amidst the uncertainty. As you engage with this concept, the void transforms from a source of fear into a powerful presence. It becomes an invitation to embrace life fully, exploring the depths of your existence without fear of reprimand or judgment. The embrace of the void leads to a meditative state filled with potential. It invites you to discover and define your own values rather than relying on others' perceptions. Ultimately, the act of living with the awareness of the void watching back fosters resilience and authenticity. In understanding that you exist within a landscape of observation, however indifferent, you grow more attuned to the richness of human experience. You learn to cultivate meaning in the spaces between existence and absence, realizing that while the void remains an immutable presence, your relationship with it can shape the narrative of your life profoundly, and the void stares back. Wholeness is a myth. Impossible. Wholeness. Lacan. What if the quest for personal wholeness is nothing more than a mirage? Lacan's exploration of the self reveals a challenging truth. The pursuit of completeness often leads you down a winding path that obscures the beautiful complexities of existence. The idea that wholeness is unattainable can ignite feelings of unease, prompting you to explore the depths of identity in search of authenticity amidst fragmentation. You may have sought wholeness through various means, relationships, accomplishments, or ideals, each time yearning for a state of completeness. Yet, as you reflect on these pursuits, you realize they often seem to lead to a sense of disillusionment. The multifaceted nature of identity reveals itself through your experiences. The layers of self are shaped by interactions, emotions, and memories that do not lend themselves to a singular narrative. In acknowledging the impossibility of wholeness, an unexpected freedom emerges. Rather than desperately clinging to an idealized notion of identity, you embrace the richness of your fragmented self. Each piece, each experience, contributes to your understanding of who you are. The admission that wholeness may be a myth helps dissipate the pressure to conform to societal expectations about identity, allowing you to accept that complexity and contradiction are intrinsic to your experience. This exploration reveals the fluidity of self. Rather than striving for an unattainable target, you cultivate a sense of acceptance within the ebb and flow of becoming. You learn to embrace the contradictions, the parts of you that feel incomplete, uncertain, or vulnerable. Rather than seeing these as weaknesses, you begin to recognize that they create depth and texture in your existence, inviting you to engage more fully with life. In this acceptance, you begin to forge connections with the fragmented selves of others. You realize that the shared experience of navigating imperfection fosters empathy and understanding. The realization that wholeness is an illusion allows you to celebrate individuality, encouraging authentic expression without the constraints of judgment. Ultimately, embracing the idea that wholeness is a myth can lead to a deeper understanding of your own narrative. You cultivate an appreciation for the multitude of experiences that shape you, learning to navigate the complexities of existence with grace and authenticity. In allowing imperfection to coexist with your identity, you discover a profound sense of peace and wholeness within fragmentation, and the void stares back. The body betrays you. Body as prison, Foucault. What does it mean to live within a body that feels like a prison? Foucault's exploration of the body illuminates a paradoxical truth. While your body is a vessel of experience, it can also constrain you, trapping you within the confines of societal expectations and norms. This tension invites you to examine the relationship between body and identity, how the physical realm intertwines with your understanding of self. As you navigate the world, you may feel the weight of judgment surrounding your body, pressures to conform to ideals presented by culture and media. The very essence of your being can feel overshadowed by these imposed standards, creating an internal struggle where self-worth is dictated by external validation. Each glance in the mirror, every moment spent comparing yourself to others, magnifies the sense of entrapment. Yet, within this imprisonment lies an opportunity for liberation. The acknowledgement that the body is not merely a vessel for conformity, but also a canvas for self-expression, prompts you to question the narratives that govern your perception of self. The body can reveal your history, dreams, and vulnerabilities, a narrative that unfolds through experience rather than societal dictates. By recognizing the ways in which your body can feel like a prison, you foster a deeper understanding of its potential for agency and autonomy. The challenge becomes one of reclaiming power over your physical existence. Redefining what it means to embody authenticity, you learn that the body can be a source of strength rather than a limitation, allowing you to express your individuality. This exploration leads you to cultivate compassion for yourself and others as you recognize the struggles that stem from societal pressures. You learn to celebrate diverse expressions of existence, nurturing a community that encourages authenticity and acceptance. In doing so, you dismantle the prison walls built by external expectations, forging connections rooted in shared struggles and vulnerabilities. Ultimately, the body transforms from an object of confinement into a space of empowerment. You embark on a journey that honors the complexities of self-identity, embracing the richness that arises from imperfect experiences. The understanding that your body is both a prison and a canvas leads to an expansive exploration of what it means to truly be alive. And the void stares back. The stranger behind the mirror, floating identity, Bauman, Lacan. What if your sense of self is but a reflection, fleeting and inconstant? The mirror serves not just to reflect your image, it reveals the intricate layers of identity that float like shadows beneath the surface. Bauman and Lacan urge you to confront this enigma, how your identity shifts and morphs, often becoming indistinguishable from the expectations and perceptions of others. In still moments, you gaze into that mirror, searching for the essence of who you are. Yet, the reflection stares back with a disquieting sense of ambiguity. You may find your image dominated by societal roles, labels, and the situational masks you wear. The very notion of an unchangeable self becomes tenuous as you ponder the myriad influences that shape your identity. Who is the I behind the reflection, fragmented between inspirations and imposed ideals? As this contemplation unfolds, you become aware of the discomfort that comes with floating identity. Perhaps your roles are shaped more by external expectations than by genuine self-expression. The family, friends, and community around you frame the reflection, crafting a narrative that may or may not resonate inwardly. Each interaction stitches new attachments to your sense of self, blurring the boundaries between self-defined identity and the identities handed to you. Yet within this recognition lies an opportunity to build a richer understanding of yourself. By embracing the complexities of floating identity, you learn to cultivate authenticity in a world rife with expectations. The acknowledgement of these influences becomes a starting point for deeper exploration, exposing the narratives that truly reflect your values and desires. This journey encourages you to peel away layers, daring to confront the inevitable contradictions of existence. In doing so, you might discover that the fluidity of identity is not a limitation, but a canvas of diverse experiences and emotions. The realization that you can craft your identity from a multitude of influences empowers you to consciously choose which reflections you wish to embrace and amplify. Ultimately, the dance between the self and the myriad of influences spins into a vibrant narrative uniquely yours. You learn to appreciate the beauty of impermanence, allowing your identity to ebb and flow, to float freely amid the contours of existence. The mirror becomes a tool of self-discovery, revealing an evolving essence amidst a kaleidoscope of experience. And the void stares back. Thinking is a trap. The mind is prison, inverted Descartes. What if the very act of thinking confines you? The cerebral labyrinth, adorned with mental constructs and judgments, can emerge as a prison, confining your essence within the walls of constant analysis. The paradox unfolds. The very tool that offers clarity can also drown you in overthinking, rendering the beauty of existence obscured by intricate webs of thought. Your mind often races with the endless chatter of ideas, fears, and expectations. Amidst this storm, the clarity of simple existence is diluted. A complex tapestry of anxieties emerges, stitching together a tumultuous internal dialogue that frames your understanding of reality. You yearn for peace, but find only turmoil, caught in the snare of relentless thought. In acknowledging this paradox, the concept of thinking as a trap begins to resonate. What if the search for understanding binds you to a never-ending series of questions, each one leading you further down a rabbit hole? The demand to rationalize, justify, and analyze can sap the energy and vitality that comes from simply being, drawing you away from the immediacy of experience. You may start to seek a way out, yearning for freedom from the mental confines that stifle your existence, recognizing that silence can sometimes hold more profundity than analysis begins to offer a pathway. The invitation to embrace stillness allows you to step beyond the noise and confront the depths of your being without judgment or fear. This act of letting go becomes a liberating force. When you quiet the cacophony of thought, you allow space for introspection and authenticity to flourish. In the absence of incessant reasoning, the heart of existence comes alive. You reconnect with the wonders of life, savoring the sounds of laughter, the warmth of connections, and the beauty of everyday moments. As you tread the line between thought and presence, you learn the power of intentional engagement, the ability to think when necessary, but to cultivate a deep awareness of simply existing. This active relationship with your mind leads you to greater balance, creating an embrace of your thoughts without allowing them to imprison your essence. Ultimately, the invitation to step out of the trap of thinking fosters a vitality within you. By appreciating both the capacity to reflect and the necessity to be present, you can navigate the intricate dance of existence with grace and intentionality. You find freedom not only in action but in the embrace of the now, the pulse of life that reminds you of your inherent humanity. And the void stares back. Even your kindness is selfish. Egoism as Engin, La Rochefoucauld. What if your greatest virtues are tinged with self-serving motives? La Rochefoucauld's exploration of human behavior offers a provocative lens through which to scrutinize acts of kindness, suggesting that even the noblest intentions can arise from the depths of self-interest. This realization invites you to peek behind the scenes of altruism. What awaits you in the complex world of human emotion? In moments of reflection, you may examine your motivations for kindness, contemplating the genuine desire to help others. Yet, as you dig deeper, doubts resurface. Are you offering assistance out of a true sense of compassion, or are you simply seeking validation, a boost to your self-image? The realization can be disconcerting, an unsettling dance with the notion that even kindness can be enmeshed in ego. You may start to question whether this self-serving nature invalidates the worth of your actions. The exploration shifts from shame to recognition, as you acknowledge that the human experience is inherently layered. The desire for connection, for being seen as good, often intertwines with a longing to transcend isolation, reflecting the intricate weave of emotions that governs behavior. In recognizing this complexity, a shift in perspective occurs. Rather than discarding kindness for fear of its contradictions, you come to appreciate how altruism can coexist with self-interest. In understanding this duality, you can cultivate intentionality in your actions, aiming not to mask self-interest, but to embrace and express it authentically. You learn to navigate your motivations with a newfound grace, allowing acts of kindness to manifest without the weight of guilt or judgment. The understanding that you are both selfless and selfish prompts greater compassion, not only for yourself, but for others as well. You tap into the rich array of human experience where imperfections coexist with genuine efforts to connect. Ultimately, embracing this paradox leads you to a deeper understanding of what it means to be human. By allowing self-interest to flourish alongside altruism, you discover that kindness does not need to be an either-or proposition. It becomes an engaging tapestry of connection, woven with threads of vulnerability and authenticity. And the void stares back. silence doesn't mean peace. Ontological silence, Heidegger. What if silence offers no respite, but rather amplifies your innermost turmoil? Heidegger's exploration of silence unveils an unsettling truth, that quietness can be a vessel of anxiety rather than a sanctuary of peace. This truth beckons you to examine the nuances of silence as you navigate its complexity in both your inner landscape and in the world around you. As you dwell in silence, the stillness may initially seem inviting. In the absence of noise, you might hope for a sense of tranquility. However, it can quickly become evident that silence often bathes your consciousness in a harsher light. Unexamined thoughts bubble to the surface, stark and unrelenting, revealing vulnerabilities and fears you may have long avoided. This confrontation with your inner state can feel overwhelming. You grapple with the pressure of unresolved emotions and unsettling questions, forcing you to confront truths you may prefer to silence. Silence does not promise serenity. Rather, it exposes the rawness of existence, laying bare the existential struggles that swirl beneath the surface. As you ponder this dynamic, another layer unfolds. Silence, rather than being merely a void, can actually serve as a space for introspection and understanding. While it may hold discomfort, it also offers clarity, a chance to listen deeply to your thoughts and feelings without distraction. This awareness invites you to reframe silence as an opportunity for growth rather than a prison of uncertainty. By engaging with silence, you learn to cultivate a deeper awareness, a practice that illuminates the intricacies of your existence. You recognize that, in stillness, lies the potential to confront both pain and beauty, to welcome the full panorama of human experience. The challenge becomes navigating silence with courage, transforming it from a source of dread into a canvas to explore your innermost truths. Ultimately, embracing silence fosters resilience. It becomes a space where discomfort can yield insight, a haven of understanding that exists even amid chaos. You can emerge from this exploration with a greater appreciation for silence, a tool that allows for connection to both yourself and the world around you. In this acceptance, you learn to navigate the complexities of existence with renewed vigor. And the void stares back. The natural state was nothing. Why is there something? Leibniz, Heidegger. What if the very fabric of existence teeters precariously on the brink of nothingness? The question of why there is something rather than nothing hangs heavy in the air, prodding you into the depths of metaphysical inquiry. Leibniz and Heidegger both grapple with this profound mystery, inviting you to confront the unsettling reality that existence itself might be an anomaly within an abyss of potential void. The contemplation of nothingness often evokes dread, a stark reminder of the fragility of being. You may find your thoughts spiraling into existential despair, wondering why the universe chose to manifest at all. The enormity of existence raises poignant questions about purpose. What is the significance of the universe, of your own presence, when everything could just as easily fade into oblivion? Yet, as you delve deeper, a sense of awe emerges. This question, rather than despairing, can become a source of inspiration, an invitation to reflect upon the beauty of existence. Each breath, each moment reeks of contradiction, and yet here you are, navigating a life filled with complexity and wonder. The universe introduces paradox, offering a tapestry of experience that defies easy explanation. The realization dawns that existence, in its myriad forms, is a rich canvas upon which you create your narrative. Why there is something rather than nothing may remain an unresolved enigma, but within this uncertainty lies the opportunity for exploration. Rather than seeking absolute answers, you cultivate a space for curiosity, a pursuit of meaning woven through the threads of existence itself. In this acknowledgement of potential existence juxtaposed with the void, you become aware of the weight of your own choices. Every thought, action, and dream possesses significance in a world where potentiality constantly teases the edge of non-existence. The flutter of life pulses against the backdrop of nothing, each expression an affirmation of being. Ultimately, the question of existence does not drown you in despair. It elevates your experience beyond the mundane. The embrace of existence as a privilege, however ephemeral, leads you to forge connections, engage with creativity, and savor the essence of life itself. You emerge resolute, empowered not only by existence, but by the freedom that arises from acknowledging the profound mystery of why there is something at all. And the void stares back. Duration devours you. Time as devourer. Bergson. What if time is a living entity, one that consumes your very essence? Bergson's insights prompt you to consider a startling concept. Rather than being mere markers of change, moments unfold in a continuous flow, devouring your past while propelling you into the future. Each tick of the clock reverberates through your existence, carving experiences into your being. You contemplate the passage of time and the bittersweet nature of remembrance. Each moment holds the power to shape your identity, yet the relentless advance of time threatens to leave you behind. The past and future blend into one, creating a landscape of nostalgia and anticipation, where memories linger like ghosts and choices ripple forward into an unknown abyss. Within this relentless flow, an unsettling realization surfaces. In your attempts to grasp time, you may inadvertently lose the present. The weight of the past anchors you, while the fear of an uncertain future keeps your heart racing. Caught between what was and what could be, the essence of living can often feel like a strain, a cycle of evading the inevitable. But amidst this struggle, you find a glimmer of insight. Time, in its complexity, invites you to engage fully with each fleeting moment. Instead of retreating into the safety of nostalgia or succumbing to the anxiety of what lies ahead, you learn to cultivate mindfulness, to honor the present as a sacred space where existence and experience converge. In this realization, you discover that time does not simply devour, it also enriches. The moments you inhabit are imbued with a vibrancy that comes alive as you embrace the impermanence of life. You come to appreciate the beauty of transience as it pushes you to fully experience the now. The laughter of friends, the warmth of sunlight, the stillness of evening. Ultimately, recognizing the nature of time as a devourer transforms your relationship with existence. It shapes your understanding of being, encouraging you to live with intention and appreciation. The embrace of time as a flow, rather than a constraint, leads you toward a deeper acknowledgement of your journey, a vibrant tapestry where each thread weaves the essence of your being, and the void stares back. The abyss smiles back. The abyss returns the gaze. Nietzsche, Camus. What if the abyss of existence watches you as you peer into its depths? Nietzsche's meditation on the abyss reveals a chilling truth. When you confront the void, it confronts you right back. The gaze of the abyss becomes a reflection of your inner struggles, forcing you to grapple with the dark recesses of your soul. As you stand at the edge, the uncertainty envelops you. Fear of the unknown clashes with the desire to delve deeper. The temptation to retreat into the comforts of familiarity feels alluring, yet the pull of the abyss invites exploration. You may sense the darkness whispering, taunting you with the questions you prefer to avoid. What truths lie buried within that you dare not unearth? In this dance with the abyss, you begin to recognize the complexities of existence. While the darkness may instill dread, it can also reveal the profound nature of resilience. Each time you gaze into the abyss, you confront not only fear, but also potential. It becomes a stage where your humanity is laid bare, a truth you can no longer deny. The experience of facing the abyss requires courage, a willingness to engage with parts of yourself that you may have long neglected. The confrontation can be both terrifying and liberating, inviting you to explore the depths of despair while simultaneously uncovering the shards of hope scattered within. As you acknowledge the abyss returning your gaze, it becomes apparent that the shadows you fear are deeply intertwined with the light of the self. To embrace the totality of your being, strengths and weaknesses alike, cultivates understanding. You learn that the battle with the abyss is not one of erasure, but acceptance, an exploration of what it means to be alive in its fullest complexity. In engaging with the abyss, you discover resilience woven into the fabric of your existence. By looking inward and confronting your fears, you emerge transformed, imbued with the understanding that life's struggles can produce growth and insight. The abyss, once a source of trepidation, becomes a companion on your journey, a reminder of the depth and richness of living fully, and the void stares back. Even pain is a gift. Amor fati, Nietzsche. What if pain is not merely an affliction, but a transformative force? Nietzsche's concept of amor fati invites you to explore the notion that even suffering can be a gift, an integral part of the rich tapestry of existence. This idea challenges you to reconsider how you approach hardship, urging you to embrace your fate, no matter how painful it may be. In the face of adversity, pain often feels insurmountable, a burden that weighs heavily against your spirit. You may find yourself recoiling from hardship, yearning for escape from the intensity of sorrow and struggle. Yet, when you pause to reflect on the nature of suffering, the possibility emerges that pain can open profound doors to insight and growth. As you delve into this contemplation, the transformation of suffering begins to unveil itself. Each moment of anguish can serve as a crucible, shaping your character and leading you toward authentic self-discovery. The wounds you carry can metamorphose into lessons, guiding you to greater compassion not only for yourself but also for others grappling with their own struggles. Embracing amor fati means accepting your fate as a source of power. Each painful experience can become a teacher, revealing truths often obscured by comfort and complacency. Rather than resisting pain, you learn to lean into it, viewing it as rich material to forge an understanding of existence itself. In your journey through pain, you confront the beautiful complexity of life. The interplay between joy and sorrow invites you to appreciate the richness of experience in all its dimensions. It cultivates resilience, fostering the ability to navigate both light and darkness with open arms. You begin to see that even amid suffering, love, joy, and connection can flourish, revealing the interconnectedness of existence. Ultimately, the acknowledgement that even pain can be a gift empowers you to live fully. It encourages you to engage in life with a sense of purpose, urging you to embrace each experience as essential to your journey. You learn that life is a duality, a rich tapestry woven from both agony and ecstasy, free to forge meaning from whatever fate presents. And the void stares back. Everything collapses into nothing, void as final reality, mysticism, physics. Imagine standing in front of a crumbling edifice, its grandeur forgotten, dust swirling where life once flourished. The realization dawns. Everything around you is ephemeral, and beneath it all lies the quiet whisper of nothingness. This confrontation with the void calls into question the very fabric of existence, reminding you that the structures you cling to, the dreams, relationships, and accomplishments, are transient, bound to collapse into the vast expanse of non-being. You observe the world and the people in it, constantly constructing meaning, investing in what seems permanent. Yet, the unsettling truth emerges that everything you cherish is ultimately destined to fade. The permanence of experience you assumed was your anchor transforms into sand slipping through your fingers. In every moment of beauty, there lurks the shadow of eventual dissolution. As this realization settles, you feel a mixture of dread and liberation. The abyss of nothingness draws you in, inviting introspection. What if the very aims you pursue, success, love, security, are constructs that ultimately yield to emptiness? Rather than succumbing to despair, you begin to see the void as a canvas for possibility, challenging you to recreate meaning within its parameters. This exploration of the void offers the potential for profound growth. Acknowledging that everything collapses into nothing inspires a fresh urgency in how you engage with life. The understanding that permanence is an illusion allows you to shift your focus from striving for eternal significance to savoring the fleeting moments that define your existence. You start to appreciate experiences for their transitory nature, each interaction, each joy, imbued with importance precisely because it is ephemeral. The realization brings forth a paradox. Recognizing the fragile beauty within nothingness evokes a deeper sense of gratitude for what you have. You learn to celebrate the highs and the lows, embracing the impermanence of all things, allowing the void to grant perspective. In this acknowledgement, you become empowered to shape your life authentically, choosing joy over despair, connection over isolation. Ultimately, embracing the void changes your relationship with existence. It encourages you to cultivate awareness, to nurture a life rich with intention and meaning, even amidst the certainty of decay. You become a creator, molding experiences within the canvas of impermanence, navigating the uncertainty with a sense of wonder. In recognizing that everything is ephemeral, you learn to live intensely, each moment a testament to the intricate dance between existence and nothingness, and the void stares back. Doubt, that devours you. Radical doubt. Socrates. Imagine standing on the precipice of uncertainty, your thoughts swirling like leaves in a tempest. As you peer into the depths of your mind, doubt arises, gnawing at the edges of belief and conviction. Socrates' concept of radical doubt asserts that true wisdom begins by questioning everything, an unsettling journey that can unearth profound insights while simultaneously inducing disorientation. You may feel the familiar pull of self-doubt, observing how it infiltrates your thoughts and decisions. Each certainty you held starts to waver, and the wisdom you once embraced reveals itself as a mere construct. As you engage in this introspection, a tension emerges between the comfort of unquestioned beliefs and the chaos that accompanies radical inquiry. How much belief could be rooted in social conditioning or fear of the unknown? In the depths of this uncertainty, doubt becomes both a burden and a catalyst. It compels you to confront the foundations of your convictions, the thoughts, ideals, and values that shape your identity. The unsettling process requires courage, as it strips away the comforting illusions that shield you from a deeper understanding of reality. As you grapple with this radical doubt, a newfound clarity begins to emerge. You learn that questioning is not a sign of weakness, but a gateway to expansion and growth. By engaging with uncertainty, you develop the ability to navigate the complexities of existence with remarkable resilience. In this openness to exploration, the landscape of your beliefs becomes a dynamic tapestry rather than a rigid structure. This engagement with doubt invites you to embrace vulnerability. The courage to allow questions to dwell within you creates space for transformation. In this state, you discover the rich reservoir of ideas and thoughts swirling around, each beckoning you to explore further. You begin to recognize that uncertainty and possibility exist hand in hand, a truth that leads to authentic connections with others. Ultimately, the journey through radical doubt reshapes your understanding of wisdom. You learn to celebrate the search for meaning as an ongoing process, continuously iterating your beliefs in response to lived experiences. No longer paralyzed by the fear of uncertainty, you embrace the lightness that accompanies questioning, realizing that doubt can lead to breakthroughs, insights, and a richer narrative. And the void stares back. Rules built by the strong. Master-slave morality. Nietzsche. What happens when the values of the mighty become the rules that govern us? Nietzsche's idea of master-slave morality unveils how ethical systems are often shaped by those in power, promoting values that reinforce control and dominance. As you explore this dynamic, it becomes clear that the narratives governing your behavior may not stem from personal conviction, but from a legacy of imposition and belief. You may observe how societal norms dictate expectations, shaping your behavior and values often in ways that benefit the powerful. As you navigate this labyrinth of ethics, a realization dawns. The rules laid before you may not serve your growth or well-being, but rather uphold systems designed to sustain hierarchy and control. This tension ignites an inner conflict, prompting you to question the foundations upon which moral judgment rests. As you grapple with these inherited beliefs, you begin to uncover the complexities of morality, navigating between the good and evil as defined by societal standards versus the truths that resonate within you. The struggle against imposed values requires you to examine your own understanding of right and wrong, urging you to embark on a journey of self-discovery. The insights from this exploration foster empowerment as you engage with the ethics presented before you. Rather than accepting them at face value, you cultivate the strength to carve your own moral path. You learn to dissect the values that have defined you and understand which align with your authentic self, while actively questioning those that perpetuate inequality or injustice. In redefining your ethics, you find a sense of freedom. The challenge becomes one of responsibility. As you become aware of your own agency, you can forge personal convictions that resonate with your internal values. No longer a passive recipient of imposed beliefs, you embark on a quest to establish a personal code that champions empathy, creativity, and authenticity. Ultimately, Nietzsche's exploration of master-slave morality opens the door to liberation, a reminder that you can shape your ethical framework. By embracing the interplay between power and morality, you learn to navigate the complexities of existence with integrity, creating an ethical landscape that reflects the nuanced web of your own experiences. And the void stares back. Escape the anatomy of desire. Body without organs, Deleuze and Guattari. What if your desires entangle you within a web of expectation? Deleuze and Guattari prompt you to contemplate the anatomy of desire, a structure that can both liberate and imprison. The concept of the body without organs invites you to explore how desires often cultivate rigid identities, leaving you yearning for freedom, yet bound by the very wants that define you. Picture your desires, not as simple urges, but as intricate tapestries that reflect your complexities and aspirations. Yet, as you navigate this landscape, you may feel confined, tethered to ideals that do not wholly resonate. The body becomes a battlefield of competing desires, expectations adapting to societal norms that dictate how you should feel, act, and exist. In recognizing this tension, the act of breaking free from the anatomy of desire becomes a powerful exploration. Rather than allowing your desires to control you, you are called to disengage from preconceived notions, challenging the societal molds that constrain your identity. The concept offers an invitation to imagine a self unbounded, where experiencing desire becomes a tool for exploration rather than a limiting factor. As you embark on this journey, you learn to dismantle the layers that obscure authentic desire. You understand that desire can be liberated from the confines of expectation, evolving into a spontaneous force driving you towards deeper experiences. It invites you to embrace the multiplicity of your being, allowing for a constant flux of identities and expressions. Finding freedom within the anatomy of desire does not mean abandoning it altogether. Rather, it challenges you to engage with desire mindfully. By reassessing what you long for, you cultivate a conscious relationship that nourishes your spirit, lending strength to your pursuit of untamed authenticity. Ultimately, This exploration fosters a sense of vitality as you navigate the myriad of emotions and desires that shape your identity. You emerge with the understanding that the body can exist as a canvas of exploration, a site of possibility where desires unfurl into vibrant expressions of truth, transcending the limitations imposed by others. And the void stares back, the eye that watches itself, ontological shame, Levinas, Sartre. What does it mean to have an eye that watches your every move, not from the outside but from within? The concept of ontological shame highlights the haunting awareness of being perceived, an inward gaze that can prompt both self-awareness and distress. You find yourself wrestling with the duality of existence, the simultaneous desire to be seen and the fear of judgment. You may feel the world press against you, a cacophony of gazes filled with expectation and scrutiny. The relentless internal dialogue becomes both a companion and a bane as the self demands examination, questioning, critiquing, and lamenting. This self-watching leads to a complexity of emotions, pride entwined with shame, confidence shadowed by insecurity. As you grapple with the eye that watches itself, you begin to question the source of your self-judgment. Is it truly your own, or is it an echo of societal expectations? You confront the tension between authenticity and the desire for validation, a struggle that reveals the fragility of your identity. The internal gaze can feel suffocating, burrowing deep into the cracks of your self-worth. Yet, within this turmoil lies an invitation to understanding. Recognizing that the I often reflects external constructs, acknowledges that the shame you carry is not solely yours. It becomes a shared experience, other individuals navigating similar struggles, caught between the desire to express their truth and the fear of not measuring up. As you peel away the layers of shame, you discover empowerment in vulnerability. Embracing the complexity of your existence allows you to step beyond the confines of judgment and engage authentically with those around you. Every moment spent challenging the internal gaze transforms shame into compassion, nurturing a connection with others that speaks to shared humanity. Ultimately, the eye that watches itself becomes a lens through which you cultivate understanding. Rather than allowing it to bind you in despair, you can turn the gaze inward toward acceptance. In this embrace of duality, you discover that your relationship with self-awareness need not be adversarial, but rather a source of connection and growth. And the void stares back. Punishment without sin, sentence without guilt. Kafka. You consider a courtroom devoid of purpose, its walls echoing with the absence of justice. Kafka's unsettling vision of punishment without sin reveals a horrifying truth. Society often inflicts guilt upon individuals without cause, eroding the very fabric of morality. As you ponder this reality, the question lingers. How does one live within a system that serves to condemn without justification? Imagine walking through a world where innocence holds no protection, where judgment looms in every shadow. You may feel like a character in a nightmarish tale, shackled by expectations that demand you conform, yet offer no clear path toward righteousness. The experience weighs heavily, instilling a sense of powerlessness, a betrayal of the basic principle that guilt should originate from wrongdoing. The internal struggle intensifies as you confront the absurdity of it all. What does it mean to be punished for crimes never committed? This peculiar form of punishment distorts your understanding of self and morality, leading you to grapple with feelings of unworthiness and confusion. How can you navigate your existence when the very foundation of justice appears shattered? Yet within this turmoil lies a call to reclaim your narrative. If guilt is no longer tethered to actions, perhaps you can dismantle the structures that impose this burden. Acknowledgement of the absurd invites you to rise above unjust condemnation, recognizing that your self-worth cannot hinge upon the perceptions of a flawed system. As you embrace this understanding, you learn to define morality on your own terms rather than allow it to be shaped by societal judgment. defiance becomes a transformative force, an affirmation of your identity that stands resolute against external pressures. The realization that punishment exists without sin fosters a clarity that calls you to challenge the narratives that seek to confine you. In this liberation through introspection, you find a renewed sense of freedom. You reclaim agency over your life, allowing you to seek connections and values that resonate authentically. While the shadows of guilt may persist, you learn to navigate them with resilience. In redefining your narrative, you affirm your identity amid a world where punishment feels arbitrary, asserting that you are more than the sum of judgments placed upon you, and the void stares back, whispers from the void as observer, postmodernism. Take a moment to envision an all-seeing void, looming silently, its presence both haunting and contemplative. The idea that the void is an observer evokes a sense of estrangement, an unsettling reminder that your actions, thoughts, and deepest fears may not only lie within, but be perceived by something beyond your comprehension. This notion beckons you to confront the implications of existing within a cosmos that renders you simultaneously alive and inconsequential. Imagine the weight of existence felt under the gaze of the void, a presence that observes without judgment but evokes a profound introspection. You may find this realization amplifies your existential anxiety, forcing you to grapple with the seeming insignificance of your individual narrative. Questions flood your mind. Are my struggles even noticed? What does it mean for something so empty to watch the vibrancy of life itself? As you navigate this tension, a stirring of awareness begins to blossom. The recognition that the void watches allows for a deeper exploration of your relationship with existence. Rather than seeing the void solely as an indifferent observer, you begin to understand it as a catalyst for reflection, shining a light on the complexities of your inner landscape. In turning your gaze inward, the void compels you to acknowledge not only your triumphs, but also your vulnerabilities. You discover the strength that arises from confronting the shadows, embracing the doubts that accompany self-exploration. The realization that the void is ever present invites you to engage more authentically with your narrative, freeing you from the anxiety that weighs down on your sense of being. Ultimately, the void transforms from an observer into a partner in self-discovery. By recognizing its presence, you cultivate the ability to live with intention and authenticity, crafting a life that resonates with your values. The dance between existence and nothingness becomes an opportunity for nuanced exploration, leading you to a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the cosmos. And the void stares back. Wholeness is a myth, impossible wholeness. Lacan. What if the quest for a complete self is an illusion? Lacan's assertion that wholeness is a myth invites you to confront the complexities of identity, encouraging you to reevaluate the narratives that shape your understanding of self. This revelation can feel both liberating and disorienting, as it challenges the deeply ingrained desire for completeness in a world that often presents fragmentation. As you reflect on your journey, feelings of inadequacy may emerge, echoing the longing for a unified identity. The pieces of yourself, the roles you play, the desires you nurture, appear fractured, pulled in various directions by external influences and internal conflicts. This disintegration can evoke a sense of loss, as the image of a whole self seems ever elusive, slipping further away with each passing moment. Yet within this recognition of fragmentation lies potential for empowerment. Embracing the notion that wholeness is unattainable catalyzes a new outlook, a journey toward authenticity that celebrates rather than resists the inconsistencies of being. You may begin to understand that the richness of existence lies not in striving for a singular identity, but in embracing the diverse threads that compose your narrative. In this embrace of the impossible, the fear of fragmentation transforms into an appreciation for the multifaceted nature of self. Each emotion, role, and experience contributes to a fuller understanding of your identity, allowing you to engage with life without the burden of expectations for wholeness. Rather than denying the contradictions you carry, you learn to celebrate them as essential components of your being. As you navigate the myth of wholeness, you find liberation in the acceptance of imperfection. You recognize that connections with others and the experiences shared can cultivate depth in your identity. In the tapestry of human interaction, you discover a celebration of individuality that enriches the collective existence. Ultimately, embracing the myth of wholeness invites you to engage with the complexity of being human. By cultivating acceptance of your fragmented self, you open the door to understanding and growth, allowing each piece of your identity to contribute to a vibrant expression of who you are. And the void stares back. The body betrays you, body as prison. Foucault. What does it mean to inhabit a body that feels both a blessing and a confinement? Foucault's exploration of the body as prison confronts you with the unsettling reality that, while your body serves as your primary vessel in the world, it can also become a battleground, a site of struggle against societal norms and expectations that dictate how you should exist. Picture your daily life, the routines, the expectations of how to look, feel, and behave. Each encounter with others exposes the tension between authenticity and performance. You may sense the subtle pressures that shape your experience, like a sculptor molding clay into forms that may not resonate with your true self. The desire to conform weighs down on you, at times trapping you within a body that feels alien, burdened by the roles you are expected to play. As this realization settles, the conflict intensifies. You grapple with the feeling that your body holds you captive within a predefined identity, one that may restrict genuine expression. The challenge lies in reconciling who you are with the expectations of how you should appear or act. This awareness invites you to examine the very language of the body, one that speaks to the norms of society, while often stifling your authenticity. Yet within this struggle emerges the potential for reclamation. Acknowledging the ways in which your body can feel like a prison invites exploration into the dynamics of identity. You start to untangle the threads woven by societal standards, reclaiming your body as a site of empowerment rather than confinement. With each conscious choice, you move closer to a space where authenticity can flourish. In engaging with this journey, you learn to celebrate your body as it is, imperfect, complex, and full of potential. Rather than viewing the constraints imposed by norms as barriers, you navigate them as opportunities for self-discovery and expression. This process leads you to foster a deeper connection with your body, reveling in its idiosyncrasies while dismantling the fear of judgment. Ultimately, the intertwining of body and identity becomes a dynamic landscape. By embracing your body as a complex entity, you recognize its capacity as a source of strength that can transcend societal expectations. In cultivating a lived experience that honors your individuality, you find liberation from the prison of conformity, stepping confidently into a world that allows for authentic expression. And the void stares back. Everything is temporary, including you. Impermanence, Buddhism. The clock ticks softly, each second carrying you further into the current of time's relentless flow. As you pause to contemplate existence, a profound realization washes over you. Everything is ephemeral. Your experiences, your relationships, even your very self, bound to fade. This truth, anchored in the concept of impermanence, stirs a complex mix of emotions within you. You may find solace in the joys of life. Moments of laughter and love offer bursts of warmth, yet the shadow of impermanence lingers, reminding you that nothing can remain unchanged. Relationships blossom and wither. Aspirations rise only to be challenged. Temporality reigns supreme. There's an underlying tension, pushing you to question, what is the worth of pursuing that which is bound to dissolve? In grappling with this reality, you uncover layers of fear and acceptance. The anxiety surrounding loss can feel overwhelming, urging you to cling to moments before they slip away into the ether. Yet, as you confront the truth of impermanence, the potential for liberation emerges. By understanding that sensitivity to change can enrich your experience, you can learn to engage more profoundly with life's fleeting nature. This perspective shift invites you to treasure each moment for what it is, a unique intersection where connections thrive and experiences bloom. Instead of viewing impermanence as an adversary, you embrace it, allowing it to guide you towards authenticity. You start to appreciate the simple yet profound moments, the shared smiles, the fleeting sensations of joy, the beauty inherent in transience. You begin to cultivate a mindset that honors the richness of existence precisely because it is temporary. This awareness fosters gratitude, urging you to seize opportunities to connect and create meaning rather than lingering in fear of loss. It is in this acceptance of impermanence that you can craft a narrative filled with vibrancy, one that celebrates the beauty of life even amid uncertainty. Ultimately, you learn to navigate existence with intention, embracing each moment as both a gift and a reminder. Through the lens of impermanence, life becomes a captivating dance, one where you engage fully with the rhythm of experience, creating meaning that resonates not despite the transitory nature of it all, but because of it. And the void stares back. Belief is a form of despair, faith as despair. Kierkegaard. Consider the weight of belief resting on your shoulders. Kierkegaard's assertion that belief can morph into despair unveils a profound struggle often hidden beneath the surface. What if the very act of holding faith, whether in ideals, relationships, or certainty, serves to entrap you in cycles of disappointment and existential angst? You may navigate life with firm convictions guiding your path, yet as you reflect, a gnawing uncertainty surfaces. What happens when these beliefs begin to falter or crumble? The realization strikes. The foundation upon which you've built your worldview can paradoxically transform into a source of anguish, leading you to grapple with despair's shadows. The plight of belief lays bare both vulnerability and strength. The steadfastness with which you cling to hope may shield you against the turbulence of existence, yet it can also impose limits on your experience. When the object of your faith begins to wane, the resulting void echoes, a reminder that reliance on beliefs, especially those shaped by fear or external expectations, can lead to a sense of emptiness. In this confrontation, an awakening occurs. You become aware that belief need not signify absolute certainty. Rather, it can represent an invitation to question and explore. Embracing the tension between faith and doubt fosters a rich space for discovery. Rather than allowing despair to shackle your spirit, you cultivate a resilience that encourages you to navigate the complexities of belief without fear of loss. This exploration can lead you to redefine the nature of your faith. Instead of imposing rigid idealism, you learn to hold beliefs lightly, treating them as tools for orientation rather than strict codes of conduct. This shift sharpens your understanding of what it means to truly live, embracing both light and shadow as integral components of the human experience. Ultimately, the embrace of this complexity invites you to forge a path of authenticity. You learn to engage with belief as a dynamic interplay, one that evolves with each experience rather than remaining fixed. In this dance of faith, you find liberation, a space where belief becomes less about certainty and more about a commitment to exploring life's rich tapestry, even amidst uncertainty, and the void stares back. You are the story you believe. Narrative as prison, Foucault, Ricoeur. What if the stories that shape your identity also imprison you? The narrative you construct throughout your life becomes both a defining force and a set of chains, molding your perception of self while quietly restricting your potential. Foucault and Ricoeur challenge you to interrogate the tales you tell, inviting you to consider how narratives can both enrich and confine your existence. As you navigate your daily experiences, you may find comfort in the stories constructed from your past, the narratives that define your sense of self. Yet, as you dig deeper, doubts arise. Are these stories mere reflections of your truth, or are they shaped by societal expectations, fears, and historical context? In recognizing the power of narrative, you begin to see how it can restrict rather than liberate. The shackles of identity can feel constricting. When confronted with the question of authenticity, you may struggle to reconcile who you are with the stories imposed upon you. The labels can weigh heavily, defining you in ways that don't resonate. You wish to break free, to write your own narrative, but the fear of the unknown looms large. This confrontation with your prison opens a door. To become aware of the narratives that govern your identity is to claim power over them. You can choose to deconstruct and challenge the stories you've inherited. By confronting the constraints that alter your perception, you begin to forge a new narrative, one that reflects your authentic desires and aspirations. As you navigate this complex landscape, you learn to cultivate your own story, weaving together the threads of experience that resonate with your essence. By re-examining past narratives, you can reclaim agency over your identity, transforming a limiting script into one that aligns with who you wish to become. In this exploration, you discover that identity is not static, but fluid, shaped by continuous reflection and choice. You learn to embrace the richness of your experiences, intentionally crafting a narrative that is not a prison, but a canvas upon which you can express the fullness of your humanity. Ultimately, the understanding that you are the story you believe invites you to write boldly and authentically. Rather than being confined by the past, you set forth into uncharted territory, reshaping your identity through open engagement with life. In celebrating your narrative, you affirm the power of possibility, free from the constraints of history, and the void stares back. You can't ever wake up from this inescapable reality, simulation, postmodernism. Imagine existing within a dream, a world that feels both familiar and disorienting. Inescapable reality can often manifest as an experience that makes you question what is genuine, rife with layers of simulation and illusory constructs. This awareness invites you to confront the nature of existence, where the boundaries between reality and artifice blur, leaving you adrift in a sea of uncertainty. You find yourself grappling with the sensation that life is a performance, that the roles you play are scripted by norms that dictate how you should think and act. The smooth surface of existence can feel deceptively reassuring, yet beneath it lies an unsettling truth. The static nature of reality can obscure authenticity. In the shadow of simulation, the essence of your being risks fading, replaced by a series of performances that mask the truth of who you are. This realization can generate discomfort, as it forces you to confront the mechanics of belief and perception. You may feel trapped within a facade of existence, questioning the authenticity of each experience and interaction. Does genuine connection exist when so much is crafted through societal expectation? Or are you caught in a cycle of performance, striving to meet ideals that ultimately elude you? Yet, amidst the chaos of these revelations, arises an opportunity for emergence. The acknowledgement that you exist within a simulated reality opens pathways to inquiry and exploration. Rather than succumbing to despair, you learn to navigate this complex terrain with intention. By questioning the facades you encounter, you can carve out an authentic existence amidst the layers of expectation. As you engage with this process, you begin to differentiate between what is imposed and what feels true to your essence. Echoes of self-awareness resound within you, inviting you to embrace your experiences fully, even when they feel fabricated. You begin to celebrate the moments that resonate with authenticity, encouraging the creation of meaning that reflects your individuality rather than the prescribed narratives of society. In this dance between reality and illusion, freedom lies in the courage to embrace your authentic self amidst dissonance. By recognizing that you cannot wake up from this experience, you learn to cherish the beauty within the complexities of the simulacrum, becoming a creator of your own existence. And the void stares back. The void is patient. The void waits. Camus, Heidegger. In the stillness of a quiet room, the weight of emptiness drifts around you like an uninvited guest. The void lurks at the edges of perception, a silent observer, patient and unyielding. Camus and Heidegger affirm this chilling truth. The void does not rush, nor does it react. It simply waits. This presence invites contemplation on the futility of existence and the awareness that all things are temporary. As you reflect on the void, an unsettling tension starts to brew within. The idea that nothingness is so close feels disconcerting, reminding you that every joy and heartache carries the spectre of dissolution. The intimate moments of connection, the vibrant sparks of life, each eventually fades into the vast unknown. Yet, rather than succumbing to despair, consider how the void offers a profound space for introspection, urging you to confront your own existence. In facing this emptiness, you may begin to uncover the layers of meaning within your moments. The dread of nothingness compels you to seek purpose, to carve out significance from your experiences. The void waits, not as a threat, but as an invitation to engage more deeply with the world, to forge connections that transcend the mundane. The recognition that the void patiently observes your journey allows you to embrace the freedom that comes with acceptance. You realize that within this emptiness, there lies the potential for expansion and creation. The fear of insignificance transforms into a call to infuse each moment with attention and intention, reminding you that the true weight of existence comes from the connections you foster, the love you give, and the experiences you embrace. As you learn to coexist with the void, you begin to appreciate the beauty within impermanence. You find strength in recognizing that the moments you once feared to lose are precisely what grant life its richness. The awareness of the void teaches you to live without constraints, to appreciate the fleeting nature of existence as a source of rejuvenation. Ultimately, the void is not merely a hollow space waiting to consume. It is an expanse that holds potential. The patient nature of nothingness becomes a companion in your quest, inviting you to explore, reflect, and connect. In embracing this relationship, you learn to navigate existence with authenticity, discovering that the true essence of life is not found in evading the void, but in weaving your experiences into the very fabric of being. And the void stares back.